Seamoss Company with my good friend here, Kirby from Divine Herbs and Healing,
What's
and we're
going
going
on,
to be
Julien?
talking about. Pardon?
I said, what's going on? Nice to thank you, man.
Not
Thank you for
much,
having me.
not much. Good to see you again. Always a pleasure.
Always,
Just
man.
throw up your logo up there so people know who you are, and checking out the new system. Check this out.
Oh,
Hey, or this one. Use your Save Divine coupon to save 25% at our website. So yeah, it's
yep.
good,
If
good.
y'all find any information valuable, and it's just I would really appreciate when you go on the website, man. Make sure you use that divine that save divine 25. I really appreciate it. It lets me know that the information that you found today was valuable to make you want to shop. So make sure you tell somebody to shop.
Yeah. We're gonna be keeping track and see who uses the coupon, who doesn't. So, and I mean, at 25% off, you can't go wrong. You know what I mean? So,
Ain't go wrong.
yeah. But also make sure to visit your site because you guys got a lot of really good crop. We just sell CMOS, but you guys sell more than just CMOS. You guys got teas, you guys got herbs and other. I don't know. I have to go visit the site again to remember. Actually, I have it like on the link right here. So
Hey,
yeah,
hey, and one
you got
thing
the
for
new
sure.
CMOS powder. We have to talk about that in a bit about your CMOS
Yeah,
powder.
but before and further ado, let's tell the people why we're here today because we got some valuable information that
Hmm.
I believe that anyone that's tuning in that's a CMOS fan should hear. So tell us a little bit about what happened today and just what's going on right now while we're here.
Well, yeah, earlier today I did a quick live stream. It was I don't know. I'm one of those guys. I don't really plan too much. I just did it on the whim, and I wanted to show people where the CMOS was. And you had, I remember you came back to me later, said you had some questions about it and stuff. And so, in some ways, I think it's better for us to just do another live stream, and then that way you can ask questions because. That was one of the things. Not many people joined in. I was there just talking about it by myself, and it's not the same kind of having that interaction. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to share my screen. Let's see here.
Share my link so everybody, tell a friend. I'm excited about this, man. Like, as a business owner, as we start elevating into like 2021, because it's like, we be behind the scenes doing so much. It's like to have this one-on-one with us. I hope that anybody tuning in maximize it by asking questions. Don't be shy. Because I remember being on the same side of that person that was tuning in to someone else and being maybe shy too. So don't be shy. Tune in, ask questions. It helps us grow as individuals, as business owners. So tune in. This is some one-on-one time that I believe that anybody that's watching can maximize this. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited to be here today. So thank you for having me. And I hope that whatever we bring today to the table from this be exciting to anyone that's viewing. So
Yeah, it's always a pleasure, Kirby. Always a pleasure to have you there. And so, yeah, let's load up the screen here. I got the sharing here. I'm gonna zoom in on St. Lucia. Now, St. Lucia is located in the Caribbean chain here. It's in a chain of islands called, I think, the Lesser Andes. And St. Lucia is also a lovingly named the Helen of the West. And that's because if you zoom out here, you'll see the chain here of all the different islands as it goes. And so, out of all the islands, St. Lucia has been fought over many times by the different colonial powers, France and England. They fought over like 14 times. They got independence in, I think, like 1979. So this is like a really new country. This is not a country that's been around for a long time. It's been under colonial control for many years. But there's, it's a very, how would you say it? Um, it's got lots of resources and lots of different unique
indigenous land, yeah.
and features. It's very virgin, unspoiled forest. I mean, this place has a volcano. It has like rainforests. It has, I think it even might have some desert areas or something like that. But it's a beautiful island. And so here's the island here. It's relatively small. I forget the length, but I'll get it for you. But you can basically travel from one end of the island to the other in about an hour and a half. I think it's something like 36 kilometers long or something. Oh, sorry, there. Where are we going here? Boom. So most of the inhabitants of the island are in the north here, right? So you have Gros Soleil, Rodney Bay, Castries is the capital, and then as you sort of fan out from these areas, right? I'll zoom in a little more. Just gotta mess with my screens here so I can see everything. And even here, it's not like there's like heavy development and lots of buildings and stuff like that, right? Um, One of the only industries here is they have a fuel transfer station over here. It's the Buckeye Terminal. They this is a shipping point for a lot of fuel between different islands. So they'll store the fuel here and hold it, and then disperse it to the other parts of the island. Here's something unique about St. Lucia is you have the pitons. So you have Petit Piton, Gros Piton, but here in the town of Soufrière, right, they have what's called like a collapsed volcano, right? And so this is really cool, dude. This is the only place. Like this is how crazy St. Lucians are. They fucking built they built a road right in the middle of the volcano. Let me
Oh
see.
wow.
Yeah, let me see if I can find the volcano. Usually it's easy to find. It should be right here, Sulphur Springs. So this is the collapsed volcano here, right? And the road goes right through it. And people like there's villagers and people living in close proximity. So if you look, if I zoom out slightly, you can kind of see it how this is all kind of collapsed on itself.
Yeah, I see it.
This is constantly putting out high, rich, mineral rich waters.
Mm.
Right. This is one of the things that makes St. Lucia extremely unique, is that none of the islands have this kind of sulfur springs feature where like high concentrations of minerals from within the earth are being spit out into springs, and there's springs all over the island, right? So but this is probably like the biggest one, and in there they even have like a hot springs that you can go into, and I've gone into it
Real
myself.
good for healing.
Oh dude, you want to like you I swear you go into this hot bath and you will feel like you put 10 years on your life, put back 10 years, you know?
Reverse. Yeah, reverse.
Reverse 10 years, like it's like, and your skin becomes so soft because the water is all muddy and silty, and it's like it's got it like exfoliates your skin and stuff. Yeah. So back in the days, in the old war times, the French and the English used to send their soldiers that were wounded to this part of the island for healing and rejuvenation. You know.
Nice.
Yeah. So
So
this is
anybody that's watching, y'all make sure look before he go any further, y'all are getting some valuable information. So once again, if y'all don't know, we got Julien and Coach Kirby in here in the building. We giving y'all some valuable information. So make sure y'all like, share, ask questions. I saw a couple questions in the comments earlier. We'll be sure to answer that. I just want to get this valuable information out there, and we'll be sure to answer all questions and comments later. So, but yeah, Julien, go ahead, man.
yeah. Well, here let me take one brief second to just kind of answer Elder's question, where he was asking, can we use the Seamoss, the water as we soak in it? I think that's what he was saying here. Let me check. Yeah. So I guess you can use the Seamoss water that you soaked it in. Although I don't know. Sometimes the soaked water has a little bit of debris and stuff. I don't really say to drink it, but what you were going to say
No, I
something,
was gonna
Kirby?
ask him like, what I want to know what are you using the Seamoss water for? Because then I can give him a clear answer. So what do you want to use that Seamoss water for? Because I can tell you how many ways that I use the Seamoss water, and so I just want to know. I want to Elder Glass. Can you confirm? What do you mean by can we use the water? Because the answer is yes. You can use it for numerous of ways, but I just want to know which way are you asking that we can use the water? But you go ahead, Julian. I just want to confirm. I just want to
No
clarify what
problem.
his
No
question,
problem.
or him or her
He's got the
question
new
was.
message. He's like, please tell. I guess
Okay,
please tell
please
some of
tell.
the different ways that you could do it.
Okay, so for instance, I got a soursop plant in here that we have, and when I get done soaking, as you see here in the background, I brought all the illustrations for you all to see. But this is some full spectrum that I soak for my personal use. I use to make my gel throughout the days. And when I get done, there's a couple of ways that you can use this water. So one of the ways that I use the water is for my hair. So me and wifey, we use a spray bottle, and we use a lot of the mineral water and use it for our hair. A lot of the time we spray it on our hair. For plant use, we use it a lot in our plants. Sometimes you can take a cheesecloth, and let's say you want to use the water, I don't know, maybe for drinking or some other purposes that maybe where you want to take more of the specks as you was mentioning out. You can cheesecloth and strain the water, and it adds a little more a lot more purity to it. And then if you would like to drink the water, that's up to your own discretion. But there's multiple ways that you can use the water. You can base the water after you clean it out with things that you may want to use for skin. It's a lot of things you can use the water once you clean it out. You can use the water for anything really, essentially. If you got a pet or anything.
Yeah, so I know someone who actually uses the water on their grass to take the burn marks from their pet urinating on the lawn. But Elder Glass also said is how much can an adult consume a day in gel? And I think that's a good question to ask, Kirby, because from what I've seen, you've taken the most that I've seen. I take some a lot, you know what I mean? But I know you. How much did you say you take? Like in a
I probably do over 60. I mean, and this is just me personally, guys. I use sea moss in just gel form. I'm sitting here just sipping. I mean, I probably go through over 64 ounces a day in
yeah.
gel. Like just personally, like I'll crush these down 4 times a day, 5 times a day, easy.
Yeah. I don't take that much, but I'll use like actually let me get one container that I use for mine. Stored in my fridge. Actually, take one out of the freezer. Frosty. So I take these ones. These ones are 250 mil in a
That's
package.
nice.
Yeah, and
That's
so
nice.
I eat probably a third of this in a day. So let's say like 100 milliliters, maybe 75 milliliters. That's what I would probably take in a day. Yeah,
Wow.
and these are good. They're like handy. They have a little like spout thing here, and I just like squeeze it right in my mouth. Like
I
you, I
like
take
that.
the head. Yeah, I don't even. Sometimes I'll chase it with some juice and stuff, you know. And so Bernadette Jones just said out of the freezer. And yes, I did say out of the freezer. I keep my Seamoss in the freezer until I'm ready to use it. Um, because it's like I'm so busy and it's hard for me to make time for the gel. What I do is I'll mix up maybe about a pound or two and have like 20 or 30 packages of Seamoss done. And then actually, I think with these, 1 pound would make maybe about 40 of these. I'll make about maybe 35, 40 out of these. And so I just pull them out of the freezer when I'm ready to eat them. They defrost in about a day, and then I'm good to go. And then I don't have to worry about, how, has it been in 2 weeks, this, and that, So hope
I
that.
appreciate you dropping that. That's a really nice gem to anybody that's watching.
She says, yes, I take a piece of raw sea moss and add it to my plants and let the fresh rainwater and sun do its thing. Amazing results in that. Yes, that is like that's really good for the. There's a lot of minerals in Seamoss, right? And adding it to your soil is definitely going to affect your plants. And then Elder said, explain the difference between the purple and the gold. How about this? I'm going to
So,
save that question just because
hmm
we're still talking about where this St. Lucian Seamoss comes in. What I'll probably do is, as I'm showing you the different parts of the island, I'll slip that in. All right.
yeah, and
And
I comment with you on that.
yeah. And then his Facebook user says, I use the sea moss water as a skin toner after showering, and for my face, I use the sea moss water in my hair and to water plants. Cool.
Yes.
So let's get back to St. Lucia. Actually, this is better screen. Let's get a bigger screen. So we're looking at Sufri here, and I was talking about the minerals, and the island is like rich with minerals and rich with freshwater springs that are pumping through the island, right? And this
hmm
causes with the temperature and the active volcano underneath, it's said that the currents will actually constantly be bringing fresh water in and taking out the bad water. That's one of the reasons why if you look at the waters in St. Lucia around the island, it's like they're pretty clear and pretty clean. You know, there's the Gros
Say that
Piton.
again for the people in the back. Just tell them again about the water thing, because you slid it in, and
Yeah,
I
I
know
know. Like,
somebody. I know somebody. I heard you, but I know somebody else is like they fingers not typing fast enough to be like say it again. So I'm gonna just say it for them. So say it again about that for them.
so, and I want to start like this. I don't have a lot of scientific proof to back this up, but this is something that is, well said along the locals and along the people of St. Lucia, that they know that their waters are exceptionally clean because of the active volcano on there. It's constantly, affecting the water currents that come in. And so there's always fresh water coming into the island and fresh water moving out. And so that causes the sea moss to be very clean, and there's not a lot of like debris in it or anything that can affect the quality of the sea moss.
Nice.
So here we are again. So let's move down to the southern tip of the island. This is where most of the sea moss is actually grown. Is in the southern end, or found is in the southern end of St. Lucia, and it's mostly on the Atlantic side here, but you will find some sea moss growing in this area here, or they'll be finding this. This is uh, near Labrie. So I don't know how this moves there. So most of the sea moss farms. Let me see if there's a way to. Excuse me. This. There we go. It's because the angle it makes it look a little messed up.
Yeah, it's all good. Take your time. I'm
So
sure everybody here is enjoying it.
trying to get it the right way. New at this Google Earth shit. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in right now on where most of the sea moss can be found in St. Lucia. And this is on the Atlantic side. And it starts off in the southern region. This is a town here. This is the largest town in the area. Actually, I lied. Sorry, it's here. Viewfort. This is right by the airport. There's no cruise boats here. There's no terminals coming in, you know what I mean? Like heavy thing. And a lot of this area is like protective mangroves and stuff. And so the sea moss starts around this area here, and they have sea moss farms going all the way up here, all the way here, all the way up here, all in this area until you get to past Mikud, past Mon Repos, until this area Praland. This is the mecca of sea moss in St. Lucia. This is where the majority of the sea moss is found, and like where all the sea moss farms are grown and stuff like that. I wish I had a picture like handy where I can show. Actually, let me see if I can pull up a picture really quick of um, the of the Seamoss farms in St. Lucia. I know I have one recently because I showed it. And when you see like the amount of sticks that are in this area, you're just going to be like, holy, like, wow, it's crazy. And bear with me here. I got to organize a lot of these photos. Here it is. So let me go to my share my screen. Stop sharing that. And there. So you see all that?
Yeah, that looks good.
Those sticks there. That's like that. This is praline right here. So where we were looking just on Google Earth, I go back to it. That's where that picture was taken. And go back to Google Earth. And so that area was probably somewhere in around here that they were on the side there. And so I know if I zoom in, you can like almost pretty much see the Seamoss farms there. So you see all that?
Yeah.
That's all Seamoss farms. I think.
Yeah, you could tell like if you see,
You you can
like
make out the
from Google,
squares.
yeah, from Google Earth, you could just tell that all
And
those
these
is like the beds, the Seamoss beds.
and these exactly, and these are the channels. And
Yeah.
so when you get into them, you know what I mean? Get down on the ground, it's the stick. And so this is actually like shallow areas. And a lot of this here are like rocks and stuff. So there's a lot of sea moss growing wild all around here. All in here, all in here, all this stuff. Even these darkened areas, there's sea moss growing in these areas. So it's not like we take the sea moss and transplant it to a different it's like the sea moss is right there where they're
Mm-hmm.
growing their farms. You know what I mean? And if you see here, the farms aren't densely packed together. They're, you know what I mean? There's a lot of them. I'm not saying there's not, right? But you can see the space and the room, you know, that you can have. And then I think there's some more Seamoss farms over here. It's just hard to see because of the soil. Because this is the jet they take their boats from, and they basically take the boats from there and come over here, right? And so, and then they also have a beach. This area here, they'll have a beach where a lot of them come, and they come down on this road here. Now, I want to give like, geez, I can't even stress this enough. Like, I want to give you an example of the hard work that some of these guys have to do.
Yes, please.
So this is the area where they do their Seamoss farm and farming. This is where they live. So they have to travel from here. Or I don't know if you can see the mouse good there, but
Yeah.
if from there, right, all the way down to here. And some of them don't drive. And this road here that gets to this thing is treacherous. I think even from this part here, you can't unless you have like a giant 4x4, you can't get into this with a regular car. Because I remember when we came in here, we had to park really pretty much right there, and we had to walk all the way down to the beach to get to that area. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
imagine these guys like basically transporting it from here all the way here to where they live, and you know what I mean? It's a lot of work, dude. It's not easy. You know what I mean? And these sacks are heavy. They're full of water and stuff like that. And you know, trust me, I've done it. You know what I mean? And I have a lot of respect for these farmers knowing that the work that they do. And then after they do that, they got to go back and clean the sea moss. You know what I mean? So imagine, so say you buy 100 pounds, right? You're buying 100 pounds. You are, that basically means that that farmer has to carry 1,000 pounds and move it from that area
just to get
there.
100.
Yeah, from here all the way to there.
Mm.
You know what I mean? To this area, just to make 100 pounds. Like when it's dry and done, it's going to be 100 pounds. It's a 10 to 1.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it's crazy. And even like when people go on about this wildcrafted stuff, it's like you have no idea how much damage you're causing to the environment by pulling out that much sea moss out of the water at one time. That means in order to like sustain the, even like say 1% of the market, they'd have to be pulling out 20,000 pounds of sea moss every other day or so,
And I
because
think that no,
there's a
not to
lot of
interrupt
sea
you.
moss being sold. Go ahead. Go ahead.
And I no, I just wanted to comment on that because you know, the message is that a lot of people are using the term wildcrafted when it's still being farmed, you know. And you know, it's a marketing tool. I understand that, but for those of you that's watching, we're not here to be the judge of it. We're just here passing on the information through our study of actually what our interaction with these products are. You know, and what Julian's explaining to you is that we're not it's not leaving its natural habitat and then going into like a lab and then, you know, producing the offspring. Like it's not happening like that.
Yeah.
And one of the things you mentioned earlier was explain, because you know people, you know, one of the things to the followers that I want to bring the attention is that sea moss is a seaweed, and the sea moss name is just a collective of the species of just grouping it to being a sea vegetable. And
Mm-hmm.
there's numerous of species of different types of sea moss. A lot of the species are related to the body of water and sides of the world. You know, like Caribbeans is known for more of the Garcilaria. From my understanding, more of the colder climates have like the Conchus crispus.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I'm just going off rattling, but the what we want you all to understand that it's still the family of the sea vegetables. You know, you have other sea vegetables like nori and other things that's a part of a sea vegetable family, but sea moss essentially is exactly what we're explaining it of coming out of these natural body of water. So I just wanted to bring the eye to that so people can understand the relationship of this being the algae. It's an algae, you know, in the
Yeah.
sea vegetable. You know, it's still an algae. You know, so that's why you've seen it along this marine life of along the coast here.
Well, look at it. This is the natural environment. Like, I don't understand why people think that there's some kind of like chemical operation or you know what I mean? Like like there are rocks there. You know what I mean? Like the only difference between when it comes to farming, the only thing that they, because everybody says, oh well, you know, wild plants, sea moss grown in the wild is better. Like this is growing in the wild, right? The only difference we do is instead of leaving it on the rock, we make sure it's on a rope so that we can, you know, it's more organized and it's there, you know what I mean, in a plot. But that's it. There's not like we add fertilizer to it. It's not like we add food to it. Whatever the ocean's in the ocean, that's the like sea moss would have been there normally. That's why they're farming it there, because that's where it like it's huge. It grows everywhere in there. You know what I mean? And look, there's no houses around. There's no rivers. There's no like sewage coming from different areas. Like this is a clean area. Like it's crazy. Like this is why I don't understand why people don't. You know, they have this issue. Like, you know, and a lot of times, you know, they don't even know. Like, okay, yeah, it comes from a rock, but where the hell was that rock? You know what I mean? Like, it could have been in a horrible area. Anyways, I'm not going to go too much deep into that. I'm going to start showing you more of the coastline because there's other areas besides that area, that grows sea moss, and a lot of it is mostly in these little bays. Like I think that might even be a sea moss farm. No, not so much, but this definitely here is growing sea moss. Like all this stuff, these are
Mm-hmm.
like rocky areas, and there'll be sea moss growing on there. It grows literally everywhere, Kirby. Like when I'm walking on the beach, like in the water, you feel it on your feet. Like it's just like because it just drifts and it settles in different places, and it just you know it starts producing. Look at this. This is sagassum right here. This is horrible stuff.
Yeah, it looks.
But do you see how the sagassum is all controlled into this kind of like one area?
Yeah.
That's how kind of like the currents are when they're collecting this garbage. Soon, this thing will get jetted out of nowhere. I've been on the beaches where one day the beach is just full of sagassum, and it's like crazy, like piled high, and then 2 days later, the tide just washes it out and it's gone, and we don't see it because they clear out that kind of garbage debris.
So one of the things that I wanted to highlight for those that's watching, and if anybody got any questions, I think it still does. It still pop up here? Anybody got questions? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it do. But one of the things I wanted to highlight is understanding the difference in this operation. Like I think one of the things that I want to explain to the consumers and what they're paying for their dollar amount. Because see, it's on like this is a competitive market. This is a market where it's not being produced in one place. It's been used in a commercial. It's just been used in commercial industry and in the medicinal industry and a lot of industries for centuries now. And it's just been getting away with just different names that it's in as far as ingredients. So when you hear Seamoss, you may see a lot of different advertisement of what it may contain because it's been used in the cosmetic and beauty industry for a very long time, and it's very good for skincare and the collagen and just a lot of the things that we need for skincare and the vitamins and minerals. But they get away with wording it in ingredients under other things. What is it like in a beauty? We'll see more of it just be like sea vegetable or carrageen, or it'll be like contains carrageen or something like that. Like what's some of the other ways you think that that in the beauty industry they'll just kind of advertise it as?
What they use CMOS in the
Yeah,
different
like
products?
cause they'll use like they'll throw it in there and just say like contain like let's say a product what it'll say like just contains collagen, or you'll see something that is more so like vegetable.
They'll say usually collagen or carrageenan.
Yeah, that's what they'll say. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and they'll get away with it too.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what it is. They extract
Mm-hmm.
those natural compounds from the CMOS to use it in the various foods like ice cream,
Yep.
um, anything with an emulsifier, especially a lot of vegan foods. You'll
Yep.
find
Real good
extracts.
gelatin.
Mm-hmm.
Really good gelatin. It's a really good gelatin. Sea moss is a really good superfood as well. Like you can use sea moss in a lot of different cuisines. And a lot of the time when you go into a lot of Asian markets or Asian cuisine places,
Mm-hmm.
they eat the sea moss on salads. You'll see, it just kind of like at its soak point, and they'll just kind of chop it up and eat
Mm-hmm.
it right on the salad. I mean, it's common. It's common to have this sea moss or different types of seaweeds on a salad in the Asian in Asian cuisine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hey, I want you to take a notice. If you look here and here and here, you notice how the waters have kept the sagassum almost like it's like they pool it together. This is
Mm-hmm.
another example of what I was saying about how the currents in the water like collectively take the garbage out, and then this soon will just get spread out and pushed out to sea. And I've seen it. I could post. I wish I had it ready, but I've seen it past my house where there's like a literal like plume of sagassum, and it's just moving like going to some like just on the current floating away. and this thing has to be like a quarter mile long or something like that. It's huge, like patch of Seamoss or Sagassum Seamoss that was being spread across the water, and I saw it like literally like leaving St. Lucia. Right, so I'm just gonna zoom out to see where I am here because there's these different points. So most of these places will have this, a Seamoss farm or two in that area. This is another big area where Seamoss is grown. This is called Savins Bay. Now see if you can zoom in and see any of the farms, because they're mostly along the edges here, but they're also in this region right here. You know what? I wonder. I think this is. Yeah. Wanted to see if the date line on it. So see this here, right there. I don't know if I can zoom in bigger. Mm-hmm. That's a Seamoss area. That's where they're drying Seamoss.
Wow.
Yeah, that big thing is a
I was
tart.
about to say that looked like the drying rack right there.
Yeah, no, it's and I've been there. That's how I know where that is. One of my buddies' farms is out there, and so this is like, and his farm is literally like, I think right here. You can probably even see some of the. Let me zoom. Can I zoom in closer? It doesn't give it better. The resolution is so shit, but I know that because I've seen that. I've traveled this road, and like I said, that's where they're drying the Seamoss. I actually have a picture. I can post it later in the comments of me getting some purple Seamoss from a guy right there, from my buddy Jerome. Jerome makes like some of the best purple Seamoss in St. Lucia. As they would say, it's the perfect purple. That's where they go. It's like, you want the perfect purple, or just the perfect purple? Badass. But you see, there's no human activity around here. There's no commercial shit, and these guys are fucking walking. Like, see where this stage, that area is there. A lot of the people that have their farms here live over here,
mm-hmm.
in this area. So they have to go all the way down here, and some of them don't travel by car, or all the way over here to do the same.
So do they eat a lot of the Seamoss throughout the day, just like, because of how much they're working on hand? Like for the viewers, like
not really.
What are they eat? What are they eating throughout the day, like just on hand while they're working in the waters? Like
fried chicken and baked. That's what I ate when I was there. I loved it.
You know what's so funny? I remember, you having a lot of goddamn chicken for real out there. Like, I remember it'd be times I'd be hitting you up and it's like, you have a beer and a chicken. It was like, that was the lifestyle every day and a nice view. It was like every day you had like the best sunset with a piece of chicken and like a beer. And it was like, and Pops was in the background always cooking. And it was like, you know what? That's the lifestyle.
The chicken is good. The chicken is really good. So this whole area here is like I said, is a protective like area. Like, there's no development here. There's no houses here. Like, on this side of the road, there's nothing. There's maybe a house there or whatever, but really there's nothing. And so the closest thing is this resort here, Coconut Bay. And even then, there's a break here. There's a Seamoss Farms here. So this is where some of our farms is in this area here, and we work with a lot of the farmers here that buy Seamoss.
So, for the viewers that's watching, and honestly, this whole week I'm going to probably dedicate every morning, like we can jump on live or whatever point of the day, because I feel like having this same conversation and keep elaborating on it, no matter how many, because there's new people that's going to join every day. I feel like this is some real good information that needs to be talked about, no matter how many days we do it. But go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, if there's one thing that I want to stress in this thing is the amount of hard work that these guys go through to produce this CMOS, to dry it, to clean it, to move it around. Like, I showed you the distance that these guys had to travel before. The people that have this farm here, right here, um, they have to travel like literally, geez. So from here all the way up to this village here. That's where most of them are living, in this area here. So I know there is a shortcut. So they go down here to the chill and grill, right? That's like one of my like favorite places there.
Hmm.
The chill and grill. I wonder if he shows that, or is it the chill and grill? I don't even think they called it the chill and grill. Now that I think about it, let me. Yeah, I was wrong. So it's here. So right here, in this mouse area, is a restaurant and stuff. So they travel. Their village is up here, like their neighborhood. I don't want to say village, make it sound like it's small. But they travel from here down through all this field here on foot, through this path, through all this bush, down here, and then I think I lost the way because there is some shortcut that they take that gets them from there to here.
Yo,
Yeah,
it
but look,
seems like those mountains in Jamaica where it's like unless you like really know some people to go through those mountains and those places, like you know what makes, like where I'm from, and like I said, where I'm from is almost exactly the American St. Lucia, and I would
yeah,
definitely talk more about that on another conversation. But a lot of these similar names is exactly what the American names of where I'm at, and it's
uh-huh.
just funny because this lifestyle is real, man. Like when you live organic, and I want to talk about the sea moss being made with love when you're, I mean, not even being made with love, but being cultivated with love, because I think a lot of the term of pool grown is being exaggerated for more of what people are thinking of for commercial purposes. But I really just
Hmm.
want to explain, I really want to kind of maybe dive into the lifestyle of it, is of just, it's like you're paying for what you get. For anyone who has the direct organic source of an island, this type of organic source, like the lifestyle that they have to go through to give us quality sea moss. Because I like people, I guess this is the simpler way I want to put it. People are, there's sea moss at all parts of the world, and there's a lot of customers that may contact me, and it's like they're wanting to search for some maybe genius response for me to just make it sound more significant than what it is. And it's like when you're talking about what makes this sea moss different, is like the lifestyle that it goes through from the farmers and what they're going through on cultivating it. And it's like you have some people who rush in the process of maybe shorten it on its growth, on just the whole process of it all. So I wanted you to maybe just dive into like the organic of how essential, like how the process of it when it's over there, like how the organic it is with going through this process versus someone saying pool grown or more commercial, to where you'll tend to have more of that fatty sea moss, whereas maybe I want to explain to them like what they're getting for the cheaper price versus getting this when you go to make gel with this type of sea moss that's been cultivated from an organic place or process. You're going to get a lot more different type of quality versus the ones that you probably get with a lot cheaper price, that's going to come in a
Hmm.
whole different form. So I guess we can talk more about the difference in quality and what makes it that different.
Well, I guess I'll start by saying one of the things that I believe makes the difference in quality is the location. I mean, we've been watching these videos here. Look at the water. Do you know what I mean? Look how the activity in the water. There's virtually nothing. There's no one around here. You know what I mean? And when you go to some of these other places that grow the sea moss, I wish I had one handy to show you a video. Like I've seen some of these sea moss farms in some of these islands. It's like they're right in the mix of these like where human activity is. Like some of these guys are built. It's like there'll be like a river or some kind of channel in between, and there's people living on this side, people living on that side, and then they have the sea moss farm on the water in the middle. And it's like, you know, I don't know if you're familiar with how the septic systems work in these islands, but for the
Mm-hmm.
most part,
They lead to the water.
it just gets pushed out, you know, into the water. And so in a lot of these islands and stuff, you know, their runoff just runs right into whatever area is near the nearest source of water. Which, if your CMOS is there, it's not appealing. I don't know, like, you know, I don't know. It's a great concern to me. And when you look at this, there's really nothing, like nothing going on along this coastline. You know what I mean? Nothing going outside into that water in that area. So definitely the waters play a big part, and that's one of the things that I believe, you know, gives St. Lucia its superior quality is the quality of the environment that it's in. Plus there's all these natural springs. The whole area is loaded with minerals because the soil on here, like in the ocean floor, is all volcanic, right? So it's that, and then when you're looking at producing CMOS in St. Lucia, there's no like heavy machineries or any sort of like, you know, massive facilities that are used to dry and process the CMOS. It's really done with a collective of different farmers and people that work together. You know what I mean? And so a lot of it is done on a very like like I guess non-commercial level. Do you know what I mean? Like they're not drawing these in machines and stuff. They're doing everything by hand. Like the only machine they ever use is a car, if they use the car. You know what I mean? Or truck to bring the sea moss from the water to the thing to wherever they have it. But for a lot of times, it's, you know what I mean. It's all done by hand. There's
So do
nothing
you,
added.
don't interrupt
Yeah.
me, do you feel like, you know, because there's some places that may, like, what are some of the places that you're aware of that have, and like, you know, I know there's parts of Asia, or I don't know if you know exactly where they're at in Asia that's maybe more commercial, but what other places are you more aware of that maybe have more of a commercial setup? Are you aware of any other places that maybe that you know, or any other suppliers that's out there that maybe have more of a commercial farming technique going on right now, or location, or you know, like, you know, what other places can you think of?
Well, usually it's mostly confined to the Asian countries like Vietnam, Indonesia, Philippines, Vietnam, Indonesia, Philippines, China. You know what I mean? They grow a lot of that stuff there, but you know, I don't want to name these countries like as if these countries are the only ones that produce CMOS commercially and that only commercial CMOS is grown there, because that's not the truth. There is good CMOS that comes from some of these regions. But you have to do your research and your due diligence to know the source and the you know, where the region that it's grown in, you know, the environment that it's grown in and stuff, because a lot of the videos and stuff that I've seen, the sea moss tends to be grown in very tight, close quarters when it's done on a commercial level. And I know that when you do have the sea moss tight between each other, they're always fighting for the nutrients. So they'll actually grow faster because they're trying to out compete the other sea moss. But what happens is that the concentration of growing, you know what I mean, affects the level, I believe, affects the level of minerals in there, and so that the plant, you know, or the algae focuses more on growing rather than trying to build itself up. You know what I mean?
So
So
do you feel like when we see that, that sea moss that's real jelly like, even though it's still like dried or thick? Do you feel like is that some of the process that affects that sea moss that we'll see more? And because like you'll go to the stores where you can pick nowadays in the States, you can just get sea moss common. Like you can go to CVS, they got places at the hair store. Like you're picking up sea moss conveniently now. It's not like exclusive.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
a lot of the commercial sea moss, and I wish I had some of it because I actually had some old sea moss that I got, and I was looking at it, and it was like very like I kept it just so I can show the difference in like the common sea moss that we're getting commercially
Hmm.
versus like the ones that you're going to find where you got to source it from non-commercial. And
Yeah.
do you feel like when you're growing it that close in those beds, do you feel is that where we're getting, where we're seeing more of that sea moss that thicker with the more chunk, that thicker type of sea moss that's not really
So,
dense, or
so that thick gelatin, gummy worm, whatever type of sea moss, I believe that that is still decent sea moss, except that the sea moss wasn't dried correctly, right? And they didn't dry it correctly because they wanted to. I believe they wanted to maintain the moisture level on it, because the more moist that the sea moss is, the more weight it's going to hold. The more weight it holds, the less sea moss that they actually end up giving you. And so, people complain about CMOS being fake and stuff. I've seen a lot of people report that same type of CMOS is produces results for them, right? So in some ways, it's hard to argue that CMOS is crap or fake, but definitely what I do believe is that the value that you're going to get is significantly less than what you would get if you were to buy dried CMOS, right? Because the weight is it's like a huge difference. I don't know what it is to be exact, but definitely like maybe 4 times. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like, the volume that you get for the dried sea moss is probably about 4 times more than what you would get for that same wet sea moss that you find at the stores.
so so for those like I wish we had some of that sea moss stuff. I wish I had some of that sea moss to
I
bring as
I'm looking it up on my film. Like I'm looking through my photo application, trying to hope that I, like, as we're talking, that I can see one and I can bring it up quickly, because I had pictures of people sending it to me, especially in the grocery store, and when you
yeah.
see it, you'll look at the bag and you're like, it will say, like, this one bag of picture I have, it's like a bag that looks like 1 pound of our CMOS weighs like 5 pounds in the picture, and it's like,
Yeah,
you're just like, oh
it's
shit.
crazy because when you go to make gel or products, you're not. I mean, you'll know the difference. It's very water whipped. Like you'll go to make products and be kind of like irritated at the quality of like how thick. Like it's just way different from being sun dried, like very with care. Like you'll see the difference in a lot of things, and maybe more things that's producing more of a commercial quality versus a place that. And I mean that's just like going to a store where you have these foods, and I'm not saying in this type of comparison, but this is just saying that you pay for what you get on the quality. And I firmly believe that and I'm not saying that all the time because a lot of people, there's a lot of systems where people are overpricing or doing this thing where you're not getting what you believe. But I do believe for those of the people that are being transparent, that are delivering a great quality product, and you're
Hmm.
wondering, why you're paying more. Well, this is why, we're explaining it today. Like there's a process that goes in, and it's not even including getting it from there to the States, but if you're looking to get that type of quality to where when you then pay for it, it's a big difference. And when you go to use it, you're going to see a big difference in a lot of things, man. Like it's just I mean it's a tremendous difference. Me being a consumer, I've been on both sides of just going through the CMOS, and I can tell you that If you're looking to really take your health serious, I would say be cautious of the sea moss you're getting.
Yeah.
You know, I
So
mean, I would say that easily.
so I found the photo. This is the photo, the crappy Seamoss, you would say. But I mean, like I said, I don't find this to be low quality Seamoss or farm Seamoss, like pool grown Seamoss. But it definitely, you're not getting the value. Like, look how big that bag is, and that weighs 3.1 pounds. That's probably like 8 ounces of Seamoss dried.
Yeah, seriously, it is. Like
Yeah.
you go to make gel out of that, and you'll be pissed that you didn't get to make a lot gel with it because it's just like when you
Hmm.
go to make gel with that type of sea moss, it's like when you go to blend it, you're gonna see half of that jar be water, and then it's gonna be like
Hmm.
half of it is gonna be like gel, and you're gonna be like, what the hell? And you're gonna keep adding more sea moss and get more irritated at how much water still keep coming out of that sea moss because it's not like sun dried all the way.
Yeah, definitely.
Like
Definitely.
you'll be very irritated at that.
No, and it's not going to produce the same. So yeah, what to do? But yeah, that's a CMOS.
I'm pretty sure everybody like, what are y'all trying to find? We're trying to find some
I was just
content for y'all guys.
yeah, I was just scrolling through the photos. It's like how do you say it? There's some good memories on this album here. I got to go through it and really kind of what's the word I look for? Look at some of these photos, clean them out, and show you. Like, here's a photo here. It's fucking. Oh my gosh, bring this up. So, this is one of the first guys that I met in St. Lucia. His name was Jason. He he's passed on now. It's actually it's getting close to around the time that he passed away last year. He died of cancer. And when I met him, he was like healthy and strong, and like just an all around good person. Really made me feel at home because when I was first there, like dude, I was like sticking out like a sore thumb. Like everybody knew I wasn't from around there. So imagine he is like, who's the new guy? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And he always made me feel comfortable. And he was just the kind of guy that um, like he would take his shirt off his back to give it to you if you needed it. There was lots of times where we were like behind trying to get our work done, and he would stop his work to help us. And he's not making any money from it. We're not hooking him up. It's just you know what I mean. That's just how they are down there. They're just like all around really good people. You know what I mean? That care about each other and stuff. And fuck, I miss that guy. He was a really cool dude. You know what I mean? And so
Wow.
yeah.
And I think, man, like a lot of like my thing is that you know we have to build that community, and it starts with each individual. You know what I mean? Like I got into
Like,
CMOS, man. Like when I got into CMOS, I was just amazed at the results. Like I've been a plant based eater now for 2 years, and um, I feel like when I got into the transition, the first year to like the first year, because I'm going on 3 years now. So the first year,
mm,
I feel like being plant based was one thing, but when you started incorporating herbs and like sea moss, like to me, it's like let's take the focus off just like if somebody was looking at this right now and didn't believe, like there's no way this guy was using sea moss the way he say is. Go type
mm,
in sea moss on YouTube. Go type it in on any platform and go see what people are talking about and hear what like I believe because like I believe like even if I believe that if someone had came out and was like, "There's 102 minerals in sea moss," and I believe that because sea moss make people feel so good that it's
mm,
like whatever people are really saying, it's just they like, yeah, that's what it is. It's 102 minerals. It's 92 minerals. Like it's because like you get such a boost immediately from Seamoss. I feel like people are just amazed at whatever it is. They just know that it's more than what they had in their body prior. You know what I mean? And I feel like
True.
Seamoss, if you go look at the popularity and what others are saying, and not just from me or Julien, you will see that people are raving about the results on all levels that they're getting on Seamoss, not just on dietary. You know, people are getting massive results from Seamoss. Like, I believe Seamoss is the most powerful way to maximize gut diversity. You know what I mean? Like, that's just my personal opinion, is that Seamoss is the most powerful way to just get an all-in-one experience for like your for a lot of nutrition. You know?
Agreed. Agreed. Definitely good. I'm just looking at a photo. I'm going to show you something. Remember when I showed you the area where they were drying the sea moss?
Mm-hmm.
I'll show you. Maybe I can play this video. Is this the video? No, that's not it. I have the photo of like where that's the exact spot is. I just had it a second ago. I'm going to pull it up again. And it's pretty cool to see like where it is, and you know what I mean. You can see the tarp and the where they were drying the sea moss. It's like I had it, and then I started looking at other photos, and now I lost it again. Jeez, whatever.
Yeah, I'm gonna play with this restream. I like this app actually. I'm going to be playing with this app for sure. This is a nice app to use. The only thing I didn't like, I wish they would have had this on Instagram, to where we would have been able to use it on Instagram.
Yeah, it is. There's a workaround to get it on the Instagram, but it's not easy, and it was challenging. I've tried it before, and it's not always the same. Here, I found the photo. Okay. So this photo right here is taken on that same spot where the white area was.
Nice. There, I can see it now.
Yeah.
So
that's
if you want to explain anything, I guess for anybody that's looking at it, they may say, well, what are all the things we looking at? So,
well, pretty much they're basically they're finished drying the sea moss, and they're about to kind of collect it and put it on into the bags. But they had it drying out on these palm leaves. You know what I mean? So they first bleach it, and then after they're done bleaching, they'll let it dry, and then they'll pull it out. And then here's a video of that same sort of white tarp, one of the white tarps, and then we're looking at the purple. This was the perfect purple that I got.
yeah, I wish I can join in from my other page. Yeah, tomorrow I'll join in from my other page. That way I'll.
Yeah. So that's
cool.
That was the spot from the Seamoss.
Yeah. So and you know what? For a lot of this is like, you know, one of the things that, you know, I'm gonna be bringing to attention. You know, I'm pretty sure in the morning, like tomorrow, because I'm like, today has been such a long day. I'm pretty sure me and you both, we've been all out doing a lot of things today. But I promise tomorrow to whoever is viewing, when we're gonna come back in the morning, we're gonna do this again, and have y'all questions ready as well, because I wanna answer some more questions in the morning as well, because I actually gotta get out of here in a second. But I really
it's crazy. It's been an hour, like over an hour, dude. Like
already. So I'm like, yo, in the morning, I already know. I'm like, yo, in the morning, I think I'm gonna just dedicate like probably my first half of my morning. Can you dedicate half of your morning tomorrow? Wait, what you got going on for your Tuesday? Because Tuesday fulfillment. So
let me get back to you, dude. I don't know if I can.
How much weight loss does one? Hold on. Somebody
Yeah, how
said
much weight loss does one get on see on Seamoss? I mean, that's hard to say, Candace. It all depends on.
I've had a lot of different experiences with customers. I've had customers lose. I had one customer by the name of Akeem. I believe he said his first 30 days or 40, like first 30 months, like within his first month of him doing like just adding Seamoss into his lifestyle, I believe he said he lost like 30 pounds in his first month of I don't like just whatever he
Wow.
was doing with what he was doing with Seamoss. And he was one of my clients, you know what I mean? Yeah, I came out there from South Carolina, you know, but a lot of people have different experiences. Like I know somebody who fasted it just all depends on how you're incorporating it into the lifestyle of your dietary goal. Like let's say you're using Seamoss as an appetizer suppressant to where in the morning, you know, like let's say your main focus with Seamoss while you're doing a weight loss dietary goal is to use it as an appetizer suppressant. So you may be experiencing a different weight loss than someone who's just using it, you know, momentarily and throughout meals. So it's all about your lifestyle, the exercise. But CMOS, so let me just give you a better understanding about CMOS so that way you can understand. So CMOS has a lot of different microorganisms and just different antioxidants and just different nutrients that aids alone the digestion system. It has a lot of probiotic health, a lot of prebiotic health to it. You know, CMOS is it has a vast things that adds gut diversity. One of the main things that I'm big on is fiber. Like fiber alone is a huge issue with with weight management. And one of the things when I got into making one of the major things when I got into CMOS and just plant-based lifestyle was to learn how to maximize my gut health with adding more fiber to my lifestyle. Because when I the main problem is that 95% of Americans suffer from 95% of Americans aren't getting the recommended fiber statistically. You know, if you go look up the statistics, 95% of Americans alone aren't getting the recommended fiber. So when I got into plant-based and I started looking up things about CMOS, one of the things that CMOS has is both types of fiber that we need, which is the soluble fiber and insoluble fiber. So when we're talking about the body breaking down the glucose, the cholesterol, and allowing things that need to happen during the process of digestion that removes toxins from the body, CMOS is a great way to maximize it in one stop to give your body the nutrient base and the recommended fiber concentration. So that's why I'm a big fan of CMOS is because it maximizes what you need in your gut health. Like your gut health has a certain pH balance that's different from your body. You know what I mean? So when we're talking about just the sea vegetable alone being the concentration of iodine um, in things, then you're talking about maximizing CMOS into your lifestyle. One person said where they can order. For me on my website, you can order on divineherbsandhealing.com. You can order on what's the exact website to your website, Julien?
It's www.St.Lucian Seamoss. It's funny. I'm trying to put your link in there, and for some reason it won't go.
Yeah. So you can order on either or a website. If you shop on that website, make sure y'all use Divine Save 25. Let us know. In my store right now, in the herb store, we got a 40% off sale all the way up until the end of today. If it's a new day, 9/7, we got a 40% off any products on our store right now, which is www.divineherbsandhealing.com. You can catch that sale. We also got CMOS infused products. So if you're on the go and you don't have time to make the gel, you can check out these new vegan capsules, moringa and sea moss. It's the godfather of superfood. So this is really nice, cool capsules. But yeah, and then like I said, you know, and Julian, you want to shout out yours. and let them know where they can find some of your products at as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's all on my website, www.stlucianseamoss.co.
Yeah. But yeah, so that, I mean, that's one of the ways that I like. I hope I answered the question. I forgot the other question that I thought I saw
Yeah.
pop up.
She said, "Thank you, amazing explanation."
Yeah, so my thing is that people, I think with Western medicine we've complicated, and I hope I'm not rattling. Let me know if I'm rattling off from anything, guys. But my main thing is that with Western medicine, man, we've made it feel like it's so complicated to do things that like it just takes all of these remedies, and I'm like, I've found a way. Like it's almost one of those things. If it's not broke, don't fix it. And since I transitioned, and I'm like, my thing is, I work with a lot of clients with nutrition. Like, I'm a nutrition coach for transitioning to plant-based. And my main thing is this is a great one stop for a lot of the central things that we need in the daily. So it's not to say that you don't use other dry herbs. It's not to say to go not to use other things. I can give you a list of other herbs I use on a daily. But my main thing is that if you can maximize your lifestyle with Seamoss daily, you're on track to a way better day than you was without Seamoss into your day. You
That's
know, I mean, that's just simple, you know.
facts. Good point.
So would you like to answer the grown, like people seeing this, right? And I think that someone was asking earlier about the purple and things, or like what's the difference. um I can piggyback off of some of the things you may say, and then I'll answer that in my own words as well from a nutrition standpoint, and maybe you want to answer it from another standpoint. But I was going to let you lead with some. I'm first of all, let me just introduce what's in the background, because I'm sure somebody may be like, "What's in the background?" So this will be where you can comment on it as I introduce it as well, Julien. Please piggyback as you please. So anybody that's looking, how much people in here? Let me see. I'm logged in on my phone, so if you still in here, if you still here with us on the late night, let me hear you holler. Let me see some comments, likes, any questions. Just if you're here with us on the late night and you got any questions, comment. But anyways, guys, so this right here is Garcilaria sea moss. And in my opinion, from my research, many people would consider the Garcilaria sea moss as one of the best types of species to get when consuming sea moss. Would you? I mean, that's just what I've been reading in history and just hearing more the reputation of the Garcilaria, and it grows. It's found more in the warmer climates of the Caribbean. More in warmer climates. You can find more Garcilaria in warmer climates. Would you agree to that, Julien, as well?
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
It's all in the
Uh,
warmer areas.
all
Yep.
and for other sea mosses, you're looking at like Conchus crispus. That's more in other regions that you can find more of that in colder climates. But to stick to this,
Yes.
guys, we have Garcilaria, and this is purple. We have some purple. This is the full. This is what you would call full spectrum, which gives you a full variety of different colors. So you have the gold, we have the purple, we have the green, which is rare, and that's really what essentially is the full spectrum. Is giving you a dose of like a variety. It's like your variety of all the sea mosses. From my research and what I felt more so impacted is that for the purple, it's more like antioxidant support, or it's been reputating to have more of the antioxidant support. More, and this is just me giving y'all what is through reputation. The reputation for the purple has been more for the antioxidant support and some of the things that the purple release. And the green, I've heard it being more for chlorophyll and used more for fitness. I've heard more so of the gold being used through my research and also just my feel. Like I said, I use all of these on a daily, and I can attest to some of the things I feel different or may not feel different too. But the gold is more so of your standard, and also in taste. The gold is less taste of any. Like if you're a beginner to sea moss, I would say go with the gold. because it's the gold is the unbleached. And it's a lot of different things that plays different roles in what you see in colors, but I'm just giving y'all the standard on what people are maybe more so on the nutrition based side of it before we go into the cultivating side of what gives it color. I'm giving you more so of consumption wise. So the gold is more so for your basic standard users. If you're new to Seamoss, I would suggest starting off with maybe your gold if you're more so worried about taste reflexes. I personally like the purple cold and stuff. Like I have no problem consuming any of these colors at all. But the gold I would say is more so less, of the acquired taste, I guess, that some people may have with sea moss. It's just less of a, I don't know. I can't even explain it, but it's just less of that taste that people are expecting. It's
Mhm.
very, it's very mild. The gold is a very mild taste of anything. So if anything you want to add, I just want to give them like the synopsis of just kind of what they're seeing in colors. But feel free to go ahead and add to anything on different colors because I just got it here in the background for you.
Well, you've been pretty detailed. I agree with a lot of it. Like the gold is probably the most mild, and it has a lot to do with the way that it was processed, the way it was dried, and how it's put into the bag and sort of bleached or blanched before it is set to dry. Whereas the colored sea moss is all dried in the dark. I think someone earlier asked that question. Elder Glass was asking me like, what's the difference between the gold and the purple? And the short answer is that the gold is bleached in the sun or blanched. It's put in a plastic bag and heated up with the sunlight and then put to dry. Whereas the all the colored sea moss is put into either outside of the direct sunlight or in the dark, and then that's where the colors sort of the pigments start coming out, and then the sun sets it in. When they finish drying it in the sun, you'll find that a lot of times the colored sea moss is a little bit more moist, or wetter than the dried sea moss, the gold, and that I believe it has a lot to do with the fact that if you dry that sea moss too much, it can actually fade and the colors can come out because as the sun hits it, the harder, the more the sea moss will become gold. That's where a lot of that full spectrum is from, is because it was sea moss that didn't set totally as purple or as green, and it's got a mixture of the colors in between.
Yeah, and I mean, and to anyone wondering what's the accreditation, because someone may be joined like, well, what gives us this accreditation to talk? Julien, I would like for you to introduce who you are and the background of like how you came, like, you can give them a quick introduction to like what gave you the credibility, because I know the credibility, but maybe someone who's tuning in like, well, why is this guy able to give us this information detail? So give us a little intro of like how you was able to get so firsthand on this CMO.
Okay, well, I was blessed um, back about a year ago in March 2020 to be in St. Lucia, and I was there from March 2020 to like about October. And I spent every day in the Seamoss community. I was farming Seamoss, diving for Seamoss, drying. I've done every single aspect of the Seamoss. There isn't anything in the Seamoss industry or Seamoss part of doing Seamoss that I haven't done. So I've made the ropes, right? So you know how they put the ropes on the Seamoss? I've added the twine to them. I've made the little knots on the end and stuff. I've put the ropes out. I've built farms. So I've put sticks in the water and built them. I've dived for Seamoss. So I've gone with the snorkel gear, gone onto water and stuff like that. I've dried the Seamoss, cleaned it, hung it. I've made it into purple. Like I've done that. Like I've made green Seamoss. I've made purple Seamoss. I've made full spectrum. Well, honestly, guys, the full spectrum comes when you don't get it purple totally, and so that's where. But a lot of people, are sort of sleeping on that full spectrum because it is sort of like a good balance between the gold and the. I think the purple is too strong and
I
can be too
love
heavy.
I love the full spectrum, dude. Like man. I'm like honestly, like I think like I really like this is my favorite. I like the full spectrum of like, and I like the green. I like the feeling of the green. The
Mm-hmm.
taste of full spectrum is nice when it's cold. You know, like I said, I'm sipping some right now. You know,
Mm-hmm.
but the this is where it's at, man. When you can get all of, I mean, it's a nice feeling when you get all colors in your system going early in the day too.
Yeah. No, it's really good. Yeah. So yeah, so that's where I've got my experience. Plus, before I started and even went down to St. Lucia, then I spent like a whole year studying the Seamoss industry and the market and the
And your
different.
dad, tell them about your dad too. Like you actually got family in Saint, you know, it's not like you just randomly went to St. Lucia neither.
No, no, of course. But like I said, I studied the market. I researched who were the competition. I researched really what people were looking for in the market. Who were the I guess the guys that were doing well and what made them do well, and who were the guys that weren't doing so well and what was their problems. And so I got a really good understanding of the market. Plus, I spent like reading and researching like for like months on end, like even when I was in St. Lucia. People don't understand. Like, imagine you're on the island, you have nowhere to go, nothing to do. There was times. I mean, one week we had a 24-hour lockdown for 7 days. So I'm 7 days at home doing nothing but reading about Seamoss, like almost like 24 hours a day because I couldn't go anywhere. So I like I don't know. I spent a lot of late nights reading. You know what I mean? And I can share a lot of links. I've shared some of the links with you
Yeah, yeah.
of the knowledge and where it goes. So that's where I feel like that's where I'm able to speak with such confidence. Is that I've spent like a massive amount. I don't even say considerable, a massive amount of time reading and understanding the sea moss and studying it, researching it, and that's why I know that the sea moss doesn't get the minerals from rocks. I know it doesn't have a root system. It's an algae. It's a multicellular algae that absorbs the water, the minerals in the water. That's why the water is important. The location is very important. Um, even like even the way the person dries the sea moss is extremely important to make sure that the how they wash it and clean it to make sure that it maximizes the minerals and that doesn't get washed out is big, you know. So those are all the experiences that I had, and you know, I was lucky to be there. I was lucky to have that kind of access to, because it's not like you can just walk up and be like, "Hey guys, let's hang out and do CMOS." You know what I mean?
Right, right.
And so I'm extremely blessed and fortunate, and that's part of the reason why I do these live streams and share this information. It's not to like make me feel like, oh, look what I know. It's more about, okay, you know what? Not everybody gets to do this, and I'm not the type of person to keep it to myself. I'd share it, and you know what I mean? Because I feel like the industry does better on the whole when we share the truth and the knowledge. And there's a lot of knowledge that we're a lot of people are missing out on because they're not doing enough research, or they're not thinking critically or independently like they should be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and to complement that, like a lot of what when I got into before I started transitioning into my plant based journey, a lot of this is how I started to come across a lot of other people who were starting to, who was bringing like a lot of this when I came across my plant based journey and I started getting into things that I was able to other things in plant based, it started to lead to where I was able to stumble across a lot of information, like a lot of other links that started talking about CMOS. And at the time when I started learning about CMOS, it wasn't a lot of information just floating around. Um, One of the people that I give a lot of credit to that was bringing a lot of attention to it was Sabi, and I think that that was a pivotal point in just what was already floating around for what people was trying to hint to with these sea vegetables, because a lot of people when I was starting to search this in a way where I started to take the words when I started to take the word search early into my study away from Seamoss, and I started to learn that when I was looking for plant-based remedies, and then a lot of the culture that I was studying was calling Seamoss the sea vegetable. So
Mm-hmm.
when I started to hear this term Savy was using,
Mm-hmm.
be Seamoss, and then when I was already doing a lot of research and understanding like foods I needed to incorporate into my diet because I was studying more of the food, and they was using sea vegetable. So my biggest thing was that okay, I gotta start teaching people the relationship between the body and understanding the relationship that we need in certain sea vegetables, and understanding that this indigenous algae is more than just sea moss. It's a lot of other terms that may be used, and it's just like me personally, I dove head in and started using sea moss in any way I could, and I fasted for like I fasted 21 days on just sea moss and water. I consumed it in beverages. I've tried to see if I can OD on it. Like not saying like in a serious way, but it was just like okay, everybody's like scared of this sea moss. I'm going to keep taking as much as I can, and it's like until my body tells me that it can't, then it's so even when I fasted, man, like I believe when I fasted, I was able to see the purity of what my body like I said, I fasted on sea moss in a liquid form of just water, and I've done it on a way where I've done it with smoothies. So I've seen it on a level of where there's nothing else in the body but water and sea moss, and I've seen it in a smoothie way. Um, I've used it for like I said, I've done it in a natural birth. I've used it for skincare. I've used it for perinatal care. I've used it for the first, I've just used it in a lot of ways. So my message to anyone that's looking to consume sea moss, no matter if you don't, you might have joined this live and you may already have a different person that you shop through it for. That's great. My biggest thing to you is to learn how to maximize it, because we're going through a shift in currency and in just healthcare. And like it's a lot of shifts going on right now. And it's like if you can find a way to know how to maximize this, even just having it as a dry herb in your household, like this should be your go-to for anything first. Like when you start feeling under the weather, like go to Seamoss. Like if you're going through a skincare breakout, go to Seamoss. Like I've just believed that Seamoss is a really good way to an inexpensive way. Like it becomes expensive if if anything, like yo, you can go to fast food restaurants and get it made and pay quadruple, or you can go home and cook it yourself and pay for the pack of stuff and do it yourself. That's great. This is kind of how that is. Like if you're going to wanting to well, I personally don't know about Peru and sea moss, but I've known about a lot of other herbs that I resourced to Peru before, and Peru has a very indigenous land that's really organic. Like one thing about Peru is that there's not a lot of like I don't even think Peru has any history of any way of preservatives. Like a lot of ways in Peru is very natural, but I can't
Mm.
speak on anything to know about the waters out there. Maybe Julien maybe could tell you more about that, but
Got good
I'm
sea
only
moss.
speaking about
It's
the
good sea
land.
moss. Good sea moss. From what I've never bought it, I've never tried it, but like I speak to a lot of guys that buy sea moss all over the world, and there are people buying. I believe they're even buying Condorus crispus from Peru. It's
Yeah.
more of a blonde than the purple that comes from the Ireland. You know.
Yeah, Peru is real nutrient dense
Yeah.
place as well. Like,
What are your thoughts on infusing fruit into sea moss?
would you like me to leave with that, or would you like to leave with that, Julien?
Uh, well, I don't take it personally. I don't have anything against it. I think it's a good way to introduce people into CMOS. I think that they're, how do I say it? it's like one has to be careful when taking fruit Seamoss because it introduces a lot of bacteria and stuff into it. It goes bad faster, so your Seamoss will spoil sooner. Especially if you're selling it, you have to be careful. But hey, Kirby, I did meet someone who uses a technique that she says is really successful in adding the longevity of the Seamoss in fruit infused, and they boil the fruit. So they cook the fruit before they put it into the smoothie, and then that way they say that the fruit is not alive, and therefore it's not producing that bacteria and stuff.
Wow, that's interesting. In my opinion, for just my thoughts of CMOS, um, I definitely I I like CMOS infused smoothies. I haven't used CMOS infused gel. Um, I've been on all stage. Like my main thing is I've been on all stages of the CMOS business, as far as not saying all as far as like I make it all into products, but I've been at it. I've been at it on a stage of like what it would take to like run the business, from making a gel stamp, like from consumer to business. I've been on all sides of that. So the gel is more so of if you're a consumer and you want to just use it for at home and you want to infuse fruit infuse into your gel, it's an awesome way to do that for like home use. I've never shipped I've never shipped fruit infused sea moss world, like shipped it as far as the business. But I just personally don't have enough experience to tell you how long it's lasted for other people. Like a lot of people. Oh, I think we lost Julien.
No,
Oh,
I was just
okay.
taking a bite off camera, so
Oh,
I didn't.
okay, 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 cool, cool. I was making sure I didn't lose you. All right, but a lot of people do enjoy it personally at home to infuse fruit. But as far as a business wise, I just wouldn't. It all depends on if you're immediately there shipping. But I like infusing my sea moss into smoothies. I mean, it's almost like the same thing as doing it in the gel. You know what I mean? Like it's a great way just to consume it. You know what I mean? It's almost like whatever you like to do for yourself at that point. If the questions may sort be lenient to like a on business side, then yeah, I don't know how, I wouldn't maybe mail it too much, maybe on hand, no problem. It's a
Mhm.
great way for people to get it on hand. I know a lot of people that's having a lot of success with a fruit infused smoothie. So I mean, in CMOS, you know what I mean? Like I've worked with I've been going back working with, like, trying to work with people that's starting off their CMOS business, because I went through a lot of the woes. Like I went through a lot of things in the beginning that I feel like people will go through, because there's a lot of scammers out there that's scamming in CMOS. And so I go back. I went and worked with a couple of businesses that's launching themselves, and I've been mentoring them and things. And some businesses are doing really good with the sea moss infused fruit smoothie. So there's a market for it, regardless. There's a big market for it.
True.
The other guy said he wish he was able to show us his sea moss. Yeah, I wish he was able to. You can always send us a picture though.
That's what
And
I
then
was.
we can pull it up on the live if you want to inbox it to Julien, and you also inbox it to me. I'll send to him whatever. But yeah, I mean, at this point, guys, it's not here to say. It's just like, see, my main thing is just find a way that fits your lifestyle of what you already normally doing, and just find a way to incorporate CMOS. So it's like, if you're a tea drinker, find a way to maybe put CMOS in your tea. Like at this point in day and age, is just find a way that can conveniently work for your lifestyle. It's not to judge on how you may incorporate it. Like my main thing is just find a way to make it convenient. Like if you're looking for a convenient way, like I said, I got capsules on my website. I had gel. We no longer sell gel. It's been discontinued for about a month now. And we got other ways to incorporate it. So yeah, just keep trying to find a way to maximize it into your lifestyle. There was something else we
Nice.
was talking about before that comment. I'm trying to think of what it was. I got thrown off track. She said,
That's all
Jamar,
right.
how long have you been taking CMOS, and how long have you been selling CMOS? So I've been taking CMOS now almost 3 years, and it's changed my life. Like honestly, you know what I mean? Like just it changed my life, and I've been selling Seamoss now a year and a half. I would say, like I would say, like right before the pandemic, um, 2019. What we had like going into 2020 was kind of like, yeah, like, so going into 2020 was when I started getting into the Seamoss business. Um, I started we started off into the herb business, so like, yeah, so like 2020 was more of a transition into the Seamoss. We started off as a tea company and dry herbs, so. But yeah, I've been using. I was using Seamoss before I even got into the business.
Awesome.
If that answered that question for that person.
Yep. And then this one was this person said, "I use freeze dried fruit for those that want fruit in it." That's cool. I never thought about that freeze dried fruit, or I wonder about fruit powder. You know,
I
that'd
was
be
thinking,
interesting.
I was honestly at one point when I was doing the CMOS, and like, it sounds like a lot of CMOS, like business owners in here, like, look, comment, like, keep us, like, help us with your feedback. Because at one point when I was doing the CMOS gel, like, I was even thinking about drying the fruits and sprinkling it in as a powder substance, and then just maybe infuse it with the smoothie. I mean, with the gel, and then that way the fruit is dried. You know what I mean? Like, I was thinking about doing that at some point, but I didn't. I never did it. So maybe if anybody that's out there, y'all maybe want to try that technique. Let me know how that goes with dehydrating the fruit and grinding it and then incorporating it into a gel. Like, I wonder how that'll come out.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would be interesting to see. Sure, for sure. Oh, look at that!
So one of the
How you liking it?
things, I love it, man. So if y'all wondering where I got this from St. Lucian Company. Like, I'm very appreciative of Julien, man. Like, when, like, this was given to me as a gift. Um, and I honestly, I feel like it was the small things that count, because I literally burn so much sage in my house on a daily, and I've
Mhm.
never had one of these that was this big. So it was like, yo, like, the fact that, like, the way that my sage airs out now and burn, it's amazing. I mean, it works good, man. Like, I really enjoy this handcrafted pot here. For, like, what was the term that what was the real name that they call
So,
this?
so what that is it? Well, first of all, that size is not normal. That's like ornamental style, right? Which is great for burning the herbs and stuff. But that's called a coal pot.
Cold pot, yeah.
Coal pot. And what a coal pot is basically it's their traditional way of cooking. That thing sits on there. The coals go into the bowl there, and you put the pot right on top of the coals, and then the bottom underneath, that's the stand, and then all the ashes come in, and that's where you clean out the ashes when it's done. And so when I'm in St. Lucia, I pretty much cook on that, like almost on the daily. Definitely, if I'm grilling something, I'll grill it on the coal pot. But it's also good as a giant incense burner. Like if we smoke the house, because sometimes the bugs will get all in the house. You have to smoke the house out, and so we'll get some herbs. And my dad gets this collection of herbs and wood and stuff like that. And he lights it a fire and basically goes through all the whole house and fumigates the house, holding the coal pot as it smokes.
Mm. It's amazing that, so much lifestyle changes, and just hearing, like, the things that we take for granted for our conveniences sometimes. I think, and that's one of the things is, like, this is such a when I started, getting into CMOS, you will know that, or like I believe that once you have real or authentic sea moss from the Caribbean, you will be able to identify regions of where you're getting your sea moss from. Like, that's just my opinion. Like, I know that once I got into, like, really getting some really good authentic sea moss from St. Lucia, like, compared to, like, all these other sea mosses I was coming across, like, you will smell it, you're like, I don't, like, there's a lot of little things that you will argue, like, you will know, like, that sea moss wasn't made with love. Like, it didn't come from love. Like, you will know it, you'll feel it, like the energy you'll feel it, you know. And I believe that energy don't, energy don't die. You know what I mean? So it's like
Mhm.
the same way that before you eat meat, your energy is transferred from the food to whatever, or whatever, not even just whatever energy. And it's like that's the same with the sea moss. It's like, yo, you can tell like if people was putting good energy or just delegate time into this process, that you can just tell. You know, it's not to say that every batch going to come out perfect because we're human, but I'm just saying like the overall general part of what you're looking at when diagnosing is it good sea moss or not, you can tell if it's good or bad, you know, just by off small things. You know what I mean? For what you're looking for. My
Yeah,
personal opinion.
no, it's true. I'm at a point now where I can almost look at the Seamoss. I can definitely look and tell if the Seamoss is coming from either St. Lucia or one of the like nearby Caribbean islands. I can tell if it's coming from like Asia and stuff like that. And so, yeah, when you get to used to looking at things consistently, you can gauge its quality and whether or not it's a good product.
I honestly, man, you know, can I be on? Like, I have honestly can say, like, when you getting this sea moss from the Caribbean, and I can really say, you know, since having even just the sea moss from St. Lucia, like, I'm just gonna speak specifically about St. Lucia right now. The 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 I guess I wouldn't say the teeth of these, but like the what do you want to call this? It's like the strain, like it's like the roots of this is just so much longer than a lot of other. What is you guys' Instagram names? I'm in the business one right now, and there's no way to message, so maybe I'm too old. So my personal Instagram and Facebook, you can use the link to. Okay, yeah,
I added
yeah.
that in.
Okay,
I,
cool,
I
cool.
I also threw up your Instagram already to
All
show
right,
them,
cool,
which is
cool, cool.
at Divine Herbs and Healing.
So
But go ahead.
no, you go ahead. You go ahead. No, I'm good.
Well, I was
I'm gonna
just
see
going to
it.
add to them, but like you see us following there, but use the link that I just posted in the comment and add yourself as a viewer, and you can join in on the conversation with us directly. Go ahead, Kirby.
So one of the things that I was going to say is like just since I experienced St. Lucian sea moss and just from seeing it like the roots, a lot of these roots are very much longer than a lot of other places that I've seen Garcilaria sea moss come from. Like I'm not sure, like a lot of the sea moss, I like even just seeing some of the sea moss come from close islands, even close to St. Lucia. Like I haven't seen a lot of, I don't know. It's like some of the sea moss seem like I could just tell the different. Like, and I'm correct me if I'm wrong. Even sometimes when I see some of the sea moss from Grenada, it just like you could just like it just seems like a little different on the root system. Like my personal opinion, like I've been able to just tell a little bit of difference in certain sea moss, and not even in a bad way. Just the root system that I've like the
Mm-hmm.
roots that I've seen of that the sea moss just coming from over there is just a little different than some of the surrounding areas, you know, that I've seen just on how long these roots are compared to just some of these other places, you know?
Well, the CMOS is always going to look different, even from different locations, different times of the year that it's grown, different stuff, different regions. So yeah, I mean it's going to look different, but that's not to say one's better than the other. I definitely don't want to get into this game where everybody's saying, "Well, this is
Right,
the best," because the
right.
reality is, that if you take all the CMOS and sample every single one and test it, you'll
It's
never
going
know.
all,
But
yep.
yeah, but even then, it doesn't mean that that one that had the highest score is going to be consistently the best, because next month there's another CMOS that could score better. Like it's a plant. You know what I mean? It
Yep.
doesn't have set nutrient levels every single time because it's grown in a natural environment. It varies. There's so many variables
Yep.
that
And it's
that
the
can.
techniques of people that use it that's actually putting the time into nurturing this, you know what I mean? It's so much
Correct.
things that I believe that people need to just take heed to when using this algae. You know what I mean? Like there's so much things that can play a pivotal point with this, that I believe that what we're doing is trying to bring the awareness to say, you know, what, just bring the awareness to the difference in a healthy way. Because
Mm-hmm.
I do believe that a lot of this industry has gotten to where we're not looking at it on a comparison of taking information and adding value. We're looking at it on why you shouldn't use it. Why is mine better than yours versus learning different techniques. You know what I mean? Man, these
Mm-hmm.
lights in here, it is hot.
You have lights going on in there?
Yeah, man, I got lights, man. It's like this light in here because the light on my overhead is a little, like, it would have been real dull. So I got
Mm-hmm.
like my studio set up in here, like, and it's like a whole bunch of lights, man, and it is hot. Believe me, I'm already a hot natured person. But
Yeah.
yeah. So well, bear with me.
Well, I think it does have a positive effect because if I remember one of the comments earlier, someone was mentioning about how you're glowing. And I'm looking at myself dark, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe I need to get some studio lights or
Yeah, man,
something.
I gotta get, yeah, them lights, man. Them lights. Hey, now next time I'm just gonna make sure that make, you know, now I see why when them comedians be on stage, they be wet in like 2 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
They be
Yeah,
soaking
burn it
wet and
up.
sweat. Yeah, I'll make sure I have my towel next time, so that way I can just be doing this the whole time. Like,
So Khaled just sent some pics. Buddy, where'd you send the pics to? Um, is it on? That's maybe what I should have asked them. Like, make sure we sent it to, because I have a few channels going. I don't know if you sent it to my channel or your channel.
he said I just sent some pics. Let's see. Oh, he probably sent it to you.
Mm. No, I don't see it. Oh. Maybe he will make a comment later and show us where he sent the pics, or if he emailed
And
it to us.
And if anybody got any questions, then go ahead and ask us. Actually, you know, a lot of, like, we got so many broad subjects that we can talk about with Seamoss all day. Like, it's really up to you, what y'all want to hear the information on. So if anybody watching, well, we know y'all watching. So whoever's watching, drop the questions that you may have about Seamoss so we can maybe answer some more in depth, so what you may have some questions on. But I hope we did a good job at talking about lifestyle today, so that way y'all can get a good grasp on the Seamoss alone.
Yeah, for sure. I think they loved it. I mean, dude, we talked almost
2
2
hours.
hours. Seamoss.
2 hours.
If you didn't, if you didn't learn anything that you didn't already know in this thing, then we need to get offline.
And yeah, and you know what's crazy, man? Like, you know, I just, man, like, to take the conversation back to like lifestyle, man. Like, my main thing is, if I feel, I believe that throughout the time, like, there's a certain people that's going to, you know, money is always going to be a motive for a lot of people in this business. So do not let, I feel like, because, like, if I was to be like, I had a really bad experience in the beginning of consuming Seamoss. One, I had got some supplements from somebody, and I was putting the powder into the water, and it was like eating dirt. You know what I mean? And you know, honestly, honest to everything, I really didn't I almost didn't want to get into the Seamoss business because I was already enjoying it. Like, me, think about it like this, Julien. Think about how much more live I was on live at the beginning of last year to this year. Like, the
Mhm.
way that I've not been able to just enjoy the lifestyle, because it's like I'm so consumed into, like, and it's okay, but it's like I really got into this because in the beginning I got finessed from just on consumer. I was like, damn, like, all I want to do is consume the Seamoss, and it's like everybody just finessing, and
Mhm.
it was just thieving. It was a very bad way of business, and even just still being in the business all the way up until the just the point where things changed around, and that was when me and you even talked. Like that was really a turning point where it was just like, yo, you know, my lifestyle, which really inspired me, was that so many people was taking something that I felt was so indigenous and manipulating it to where it was like I just wanted to start with my outreach. And it was like, you know, I know a lot of people throughout my time, and I was like, yo, if I could just impact 2% of the people I know to give them an authentic experience of this product, that's generational wealth. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I really got into like getting into the Seamoss and just learning as many ways as I can incorporate it and show people and exploit it, because I felt like what I had learned with Seamoss and what it did for me in such a short period of time, I was more excited to share the knowledge. Like as I grew in the business and I started to earn while I learned, I felt like I started to grow in the business. But it was like Seamoss in the beginning, like I felt like if I didn't have the love for the experience of Seamoss, I'm not sure if it would have carried me through just because of the business. Like I'm not really doing this just only for the business. You know, I'm blessed that it takes care of me for my lifestyle. And I felt like I like, even when I got into this business, like I got into this business with like more like just it wasn't a this like when I in order for when I got it, like when I got into this business, it was like all in for me. You know, like I was already an entrepreneur. I was able to incorporate this into my lifestyle, but it's like like this really is a love for this algae versus just a business for me. And I feel like, you know, it's, you know, a lot of some of the people that's into it for a business are water out, you know. But I feel like if you're going to be in this business, you should be consuming sea moss. You know what I mean? Like, cause it's just hard. Like the days where you don't feel like packaging, you're gonna have to wake up and rely on the love for Seamoss and be like, you know what? Because I love this Seamoss, I'm actually gonna package you up today because I love this Seamoss. Like, it's not like you wake up every day just excited to just, you know, it's like really your love for Seamoss and wanting to change lives is what carry you over the days, the ones that's dropping off. Like, there's a lot of people that when even a year ago that started this business out with me are is not around. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of people who faded out because they just thought it was going to be that easy. That's not there. Then there's some people that's still hanging on, and then I mean it's different levels to this. You know what I mean? I don't want to neglect that, but the majority of it is that a lot of the people that's in this business, that goes for anybody that's selling CMOS. A lot of the people that's in this business is because we are firm believers of this product. And I just want to create that awareness for any consumer that's seeing CMOS, wondering, like, should I go with my supplier? Like, first of all, does your supplier use CMOS? You know what I mean? Does your supplier use CMOS? You know what I mean? Like, at least ask that question, you know, and I think that'll kind of, you know, take you into a better conversation, you know. You know, this is my personal opinion, but it's a lifestyle, man. You know, I'm not saying that, you know, the person who use a tablespoon versus the one who maybe drink a cup is any different. Like, as long as that person uses CMOS, like, I believe that those are taking us through the days where it's like we just firmly believe in our product, like versus somebody who's just doing it for a living. I mean, just to get paid from it, you know.
So hey, check this out. This is the photo. I'm gonna try and increase it. These are the photos that Khaled just sent me, and so it looks like he's selling Condor's Crispus, and I think that is Condor's Crispus. But that's
so my
like
question for him, real quick, is: can you get quinoa? Because quinoa is made in Purdue. I got a friend that's from Purdue, and we've been trying to figure out a way for quinoa to, like, I'm a big quinoa fan, and I have an organic store, and I would love to bring quinoa to my store. Like, do you have any way to get some quinoa? Like, or even just for me to consume? Like, I need some Peru quinoa. Like, I've been hearing about Peru quinoa a lot. I need some quinoa. I just had to throw that out there before the Seamoss. I just needed some quinoa. I don't like. I need before I got. Like, it's a movement. Much more money. Been making much more money than making. Yeah, definitely, man. Like, it's a like, yo, the power of the internet, man. Like, matter of fact, before I get on, I just want to know, want the world to know that it's done. Yep, I agree, Khalid. Um, Back to this. Yeah, we'll look at this and I'll comment on what I was about to say. So I can't really see the quality of the Seamoss to really say anything, but drop your link of where people can find it. You know what I mean? Like, if you have a website or whatever way people can buy your Seamoss, we got your Seamoss up. Shout out where we can find it, and I would definitely check it out. What you got to say about that, Julien?
I say join the Seamoss Buyers Club.
Yep.
And then create some posts and put your shit in here. It's funny you were talking earlier about the market and the competition and stuff like that. One of the things that I've been seeing lately that's really sort of disappointing and not disgusting, I shouldn't use that word, but just disappointing is the level of shady tactics that some of these other guys are doing. And just like the insane like spamming. Like some of these people tell me that it's like I can't even like a picture or make a comment without being barraged with all these guys coming in and saying, hey, you want Seamoss? You want Seamoss? You want Seamoss? You want Seamoss? Like, dude, you're gonna kill the market, man. You're gonna scare all these people away. If you want to sell Seamoss, just make a post, put it in the group. I'll tell you this. I talk to a lot of these guys, and the ones that are making the most money are the ones that are making the posts. The ones that are trying to be shady and add in their comments on other people's posts or message the person in the background, you're wasting your time, right? And I tell you, one of the reasons why you're wasting your time is because you look shady when you do that. Dude, like, why would, I would be suspect. I would be, as my kids would say, sus. That's what they call it.
2021. Yeah.
Like, I'd be sus if someone were to message me about them having Seamoss and not post it in the thing and post it in the group. Like, trust is a huge factor in this group, in the Seamoss industry. That's one of the things I learned. Remember I said earlier, I spent a year analyzing the industry. One of the things that I've learned is trust is a huge factor. There's a reason why I do these live streams and I put my face on the videos, and why you can call me directly on my website and get me firsthand is because I want to build trust. There is, I am oozing with trust. You look at me and I'm instantly trusting you because you can get a hold of me. If there's a problem, I'm nice enough to work it, and solve it. So when you start messaging these guys on the back end and trying to be sneaky about it and being like, oh, I'll give you a better price, you've lost the level of trust. Do you know what I'm saying? Because people are wondering, why is this guy hiding behind this messenger and not putting his, if your Seamoss is good, just I don't even try to sell the Seamoss, bro, because I know I just need to throw a picture and it sells itself.
Yep.
Right? Anybody that sees my Seamoss is buying my Seamoss. I've not had someone turn to me and say, oh my God, that is disgusting.
Yep.
So there's no need to push it.
Yep. I think you're making a great point. I mean, me and you had this conversation many times. It's like, there's a lot of these big groups where, they're doing so much things to neglect information to where, everyone is looking at this on a political power note of, it's so at this point, I don't even put a lot of energy to it, but it's still a point where it's like, for those people that are looking to build a community, join our movement. You know what I mean? Like, we're like, Seamoss, and this is what I was going to say earlier. We're in a power of a digital currency. We're in a power of just internet e-commerce. We're in the power of there's so much ways now to where, beforehand, the Seamoss industry was very secluded to big market and them going to these islands where we, it's not like a lot of the consumer now is more so of direct from consumer to, it's direct to consumer now. You know what I mean? It's not so much of just the industry using it and using it for their products. There's a new level of independency going on in the world. There's a new level of financial wealth being shifted. There's a lot of more people that's starting to make their, America is starting to become more of a place where people are making things. and it's happening in a world consuming it's a new demand. So I personally feel like that everybody has the power to be their own distributor for some other bigger consumer. You know what I mean? Like there's not a area now that's stopping you from finding somebody who wants to get it through you. You know, and I feel like people are being so competitive for the amount of people in the world that's billions. I think that we're making this market very slim and very competitive. Like I love competitiveness. I come from a competitive background. Don't get me wrong. Ain't nothing wrong with like a friendly competition of like, you know, just having that urge of just like, hey, let's explore. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. But what it's starting to become is it's starting to become real chippy. You know, like after the play over and the whistle's blown, you're still like hitting me in the back of my leg. It's becoming so chippy to where we're not feeding off of the information to where, because I'm a consumer, like me being a real consumer, like I believe that like with me being like the kind of consumer I am, I would love to try Seamoss as conveniently as much as I can from other places if it was just that easy. But
Mm-hmm.
because this business that became so grimy to where you can't trust money transfers, you can't trust that if the picture I see is going to be what I get, you can't trust, you know, there's so many small things that goes on from expecting this from being a such a large scale sharecrop. There's so many small things that's stopping this from being a huge it's such a huge market where this could have been so large and in far as a commodity, but it's not because of the small gray areas of chippiness, which is this business. So my thing is that, you know, the more that we do these things, like, you know, you get connected with people that's being transparent or people that's joining in, that's helping us, you know, share these pictures or, you know, tell us. At this point, the powered internet is allowing us to connect stories, because beforehand we would have to be traveling to these places to talk to people that's in these places. So there's a lot of currency. It's a lot of things happening where I'm able to talk to that guy that uses it in their culture, but they call it different. You know, like one of the guys that I was talking to, that's one of my business partners on some other things. He's from Dubai, and
Uh-huh.
they call Seamoss over there Ishmosh. It's not like, instead of Irish Mosh, they call it like
Yeah.
Ishmosh or Ishmael or something like that. And it's just learning currency and culture. You know, so many cultures call it different things to where you'll end up being arguing over nothing once you learn that, yo, let me just try to see what you have to offer in your region. Like I believe if more people was concentrating on the benefits of their region and why this indigenous, like, first of all, if this algae is able to grow in your region, that's a bonus automatically. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not like this is just growing like, yes, it's growing places, but like if more people maybe focused on the benefits of why this sea moss is here in this region, I believe that people will win versus trying to make it about the competitiveness. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Agree. I mean, the reality is the like competition, like you said, is good. It's good to have healthy competition and stuff, but the reality is this market is huge,
Mm-hmm.
and there is no reason why we should be fighting over, um, like one area. Like if it gets too congested, go move somewhere else. You know what I mean? There's so many spaces where these people can be like selling CMOS, and it's like, I don't know. I see a few of them. They're all, trying to like dominate the plant, like the CMOS industry. It's like, listen, you're wasting your time. This CMOS business is so good, big, so huge. No one's gonna, not everybody's gonna buy from you, and
Mm-hmm.
you're just gonna kill yourself trying to make that happen. You know what I mean? To me, it's just like, you know what? Provide a good service, provide good quality CMOS, be reliable, and let the CMOS sell itself.
And for
You know.
anybody understanding, Joe, like I don't care how fast your ship, I don't care how fast your service is. CMOS is one of those things where You could be on the other side of town. That customer is going to buy Seamoss conveniently. Like they'll still like I got customers that like buy it conveniently and still get it from us monthly. Like I don't want people to like don't like yo. There's so many ways that I've seen CMOS used in products now to where it's like this is the new norm. You know what I mean? Like you're going to start seeing CMOS pop up in many places. So it's about knowing what like where you're getting your use from. Like there's places where you're gonna get maybe infused soaps from. You're gonna be places where you might get the capsules. There's going to be a place where you're going to be able to get your raw CMOS. That's for like the thing is that the consumers are getting this product regardless if you're like the minute someone is not available, do not think that it's just like an exclusive. It's just not like that with this. This is something that's like you're gonna go to McDonald's. If you go to McDonald's, you're not only gonna go to that franchise on that. You're going to McDonald's everywhere at that point. That's kind of like CMOS. Like people are exploiting the benefits and having fun utilizing it. Like I hope that when you look at what we have done with CMOS from here, you may come across somebody else that's doing something with CMOS. I hope I made it easier for you to try their product because at the end of the day, this product is so beneficial to where I feel like if you do not figure out a way to maximize it, you're losing out. You know what I mean? Like I hope that you're figuring out a way to just put it into your lifestyle. Whatever way you able to put it into your lifestyle.
Yeah, you got to do that any way you can get it in.
I wonder if that guy is he still here that had us these pictures up? Is he still in the? Is he still Khalid?
Yeah, Khalid. I think he might. But he wanted us. Did you see that question? He said, "I just wanted you guys see it and give an opinion because I'm loving the fact that I have found people that see this life like exactly the way I do. Forget the selling part." I agree. You don't need to sell this stuff. Just be there to offer it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like it's like an offering. So to answer my opinion, I don't see anything wrong with this CMOS. Like I think Kirby said earlier, the photos aren't the best photos. And so it's so hard sometimes to tell based on the photograph. But this looks like really nice, clean CMOS.
Yeah, it looks good.
That's to me is the most important is the clean, right? When you're looking at the CMOS here, there's not a lot of I've seen in some Condors Crispus they'll have little bits of these like parasitic stuff. I forget what they're called, but they're common with a lot of the CMOS where this like kind of like parasitic sort of algae will grow on it, and when it dries, it's hard to kind of peel it off, and it's not like poisonous or anything, but it's just not. You don't want it in your CMOS gel, right? It's like adds like chunks or whatever. But this looks really clean, looks nice, and actually, hit me up later. Send me a message because I know a few guys that are looking to buy Condors Crispus in bulk, and I'll put you in touch with them, and I don't know, maybe you might want to start buying Condors Crispus, Kirby? And
I honestly, I'm one of those guys. Like, as soon as I consume it, once I consume it and see like how it makes me feel, I like no matter what. I cannot sell something that I personally like. No. Let me say like, I
you don't believe in it.
There's certain products where it's like it suits your boat if it's just common and it's like okay, whatever. Like I'm not like let's say a water bottle. Like okay, you like that water bottle, I like this. Okay, cool. But when it comes to like a consumption product, it has to be something that I can really use for me to sell. And I've been wanting to try Conscious Crispies. I haven't tried it. I've been really picky because some of the Conscious Crispies and I like from the looks of his. I kind of like what it like off of what it looks like. It looks like some pretty decent Conscious Crispus because a lot of the Conscious Crispus that I've been seeing, it just didn't look like
it didn't. It's missing the love.
It was missing. It just looked like it just was missing that part, and I just didn't bother to like try to get it. It wasn't like it just didn't appeal to me. Like, hey, I want it.
That Seamoss right here looks like there's love in this.
Yeah, like it looks.
You see how it's pretty, you know what I mean? And I'm not a big Condors Crispus fan. Even this.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you can look at the Seamoss and you could tell that the person just treated it like trash. Like it was like,
Yeah.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean? This like I don't see that the case. So, you know what I mean? Good on you. One thing I want to share here. I noticed Candace said this. Yep, buying Seamoss is like buying weed. Got to know it's from a good source. If not, you can get some bad stuff.
Yep.
That is for true. Yeah, you
Yep.
know what I mean? And and everybody's a dealer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody's got their
Everybody's a dealer. Everybody's a dealer.
everybody's got their hookup and stuff.
Right.
And
Everybody. Hey, everybody know a guy. Hey, I know a guy who knows a guy. Everybody knows
guy
a
who
guy.
knows a guy. Yeah, that's for true. Um, so Candace here asked, "Is Connor's Chris is better?" I mean, who the fuck knows? You know what I mean? Is
Right.
this
Right.
like I was saying earlier? Like, and then really, who cares? Like, try it. If it's good, like it's good. You know what I
Here's
mean? If
what
it's
I think
bad,
about that. Not to interrupt you, like it's to
yeah.
piggyback exactly what you're saying. Like I believe that each plant, like for instance, there's a lot of things that's in the world that's made for its ecosystem, right? There's something that conscious crispers produce to the earth in that region that body of water needs that mineral that makes it conscious crispers, right? Like no matter
Hmm.
what that one vitamin or mineral or whatever it is that went through photosynthesis, like it could be something that we just don't know. There's something that conscious crispers plays a role to the earth that gives it that nutrient dense. It's the
Hmm.
same as saying Garcilaso. Like it's not that like let's say like if I'm dealing with something that I want to address on a medical like if I want to deal with something on a medicinal purpose, this may be like for instance, you got weed that's indigos and sativas. This is how it is
Hmm.
with Seamoss. It's like you may be having something that comes from conscious crispers that you're looking to aid that may that conscious crispers may jumpstart something in your body that
Hmm.
it contains more of, or just jump starts in your body that Garcilaso species may not. You know what I mean? So it's not to say what's better; it's to know your body and know what it is that you're trying to jumpstart, or what is it that you're looking to do. You know what I mean? So,
Hmm.
I mean, that's just my basic way of trying to explain it because it's like sea vegetables has such a different variety of what it does for the body. Like for instance, it's just that's the easiest way that I can say. Hey, look at
Hmm.
that beautiful store right there. I know that place.
Yeah, something looks familiar. You
Yeah, I
know,
know that place. I know that place.
you want to see what I just got?
What you just got? What you just got?
Am I? Should I show that screen? No, no, no.
Uh-oh,
That's not.
uh-oh. Hey, hey, we're shopping on Julien tonight.
I know, eh? Let's see here. I'll pull up what I Is that showing there? Yeah. So this is what I just bought while we were talking on the phone. I'm so excited. So I got the GoPro Hero bundle. You see that?
Yo, you are a beast, yo. I've been thinking, like, yo, I was like, yo, with a GoPro, with just like not being like hands free, this is like,
So
that's on my
yeah, I got
Christmas
it.
list.
It comes with the stand. It's the new top of the line model here, and it's got all those features. It comes with the extra chip and things. So I just bought 3 of them, and I'm gonna send them down to St. Lucia. So you're gonna see a lot of fucking footage soon of what's going on in the water. You know what I mean?
Nice,
And
nice.
guys diving for the sea moss and stuff like that. So
Oh,
you think you
waterproof.
guys
Yeah, it
see?
says waterproof. I see it.
Oh, dude, these things are sick. These new Hero 9s, they do like everything. I even think they can do live streaming from it.
Wow.
Like it's pretty crazy. And this one's got the extra batteries and stuff. So my business partner, like when he sees these, he's gonna shit his pants. He's just
Yeah,
gonna be
that's a
like,
nice gift.
"What?" Yeah, no one has those on the island. I'm pretty positive.
Right,
Like
right.
they
Nah,
might,
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's over with. Yeah,
yeah.
like
Well,
yo,
it's
that's
brand
like
new.
that's that's like the
But
trophy.
they're
Like,
on. But listen, dude, they're on special. Like that whole package there to get it without like normally that's the camera just for the camera, and then you get the 2 batteries and the stand, and then the SD card. So it's like you're killing it.
Yeah,
You know.
I used to do photography. I know, like, that camera shit is more than expensive. Like my
Hmm.
first camera, I had paid like $1,500. Like, dude, like my first, like I bought a Sony A6000. Like it was some with the like Sony A6000. Man, that shit was expensive as shit, man. I was just
No,
like,
no,
you
yeah.
know, but
The
yeah, I
prices have
mean,
gone down a lot.
I think what you're doing with that GoPro, like, there's going to be a huge need for that because there's so much of the illusion of what people think going on versus like the reality. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
people need to come back down to reality of what this process looked like. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
like really what's going on, and it builds a sense of just security. You know what I mean? Like
Trust.
yeah, people need to really understand. Like yo, like I said, every time like I think every day I wake up, I just feel like I'm in a blessed position because the pandemic has not even been a stress for me because I have so much herbs in my house. Like, one of the things I'm gonna be doing is starting to do more is have my apothecary show, like bring more. Like, dude, I got a fucking sour chop cheese sitting here for God. Like for God's sake, I got a goddamn soursop tree sitting right here,
Nice.
just
Those are
kicking
some
it,
pretty leaves.
just kicking it, you know.
Hmm.
And I mean, like, I got a lot of herbs in my house that I'm just like, I just want to have the luxury of just telling people how to use it. It's not just Seamoss, you know. Although it's still at my favorite, guys. Like, you like Seamoss will always be one of my favorite things that I add, but it's not the only thing. I'm a
It's
big ginger fan. I'm a big soursop fan. I'm a really big elderberry fan. Um,
Mhm.
like one of the things in my ginger detox, we it's like the ginger detox is infused with elderberry, ginger root, burdock root, and sea moss. And I mean, like, I love burdock root. Like, burdock root is another thing that is like, I just love burdock root. So there's a lot of other herbs in the world, and like, for instance, you have like the coca on your website too, right?
Cocoa sticks, yeah.
Yeah, like the coca sticks. Like there's so much things in the world, like, that people can get. That's other than just sea moss.
Yeah, there's a cocoa stick.
Yeah, I need to order some of them. I need to get some of those cocoa sticks. I'm gonna do, like, I'm gonna make something from
They
that
smell
cocoa
great,
stick.
like nice bittersweet chocolate. Hey, so Candace Jones was asking here. I guess I'm confused with the difference of Condor's Christmas versus the others. Could you name the other varieties? So I'll answer that question. The other varieties, the main varieties that are sold is Eukinema, Garcilaria, um, Capatai, Alvarez. I can't even pronounce half of these ones, but they fall into all the sea mosses fall into I think three groups. There's red sea moss, there's brown or it's algae, red algae,
Algae.
brown algae, and then there's green algae. And
Hmm.
I actually think there's blue algae. There's blue algae. And the reds and the browns are mostly found in ocean water.
Hmm.
And so the reds would be Condorus crispus, Garcilaria eukinema, Garcilaria. Um, yeah, and I mean, there's probably about 10 or so species that people eat, consume, but there's
Yeah.
over like 200 species of sea moss. And then there's variations of those species. Now, to say like which one's good or which one's better, there's not a lot of science on it to prove it. There's just mostly people's opinions. And so my advice is to just try the CMOS and see how you like it and form your own opinion about it. You can listen to other people's opinions, but those other people aren't you and their body's not yours. Everybody's different. Everybody's reaction is going to be different. So I try to avoid saying what it's going to be like because you don't know. I can explain what my experience is like, but when it comes to Condor's Christmas, I can't because I've never tried it. And then Khaled says, "Hey guys, I'm from Wisconsin, and I got to become the next third party friend, for sure. LOL. I swear I got amazing stories of my journey with Seamoss and the ups and downs, but it was well worth it. Yeah, I'd love for you to come in and share some stories. We should even do like a specific episode talking about like the ups and downs of what people have to face in the Seamoss business and stuff like that. Like, geez, dude, I've had some crazy like stories and stuff. Like, I remember one time I had a guy that I knew from the island before I came to Seamoss, and then when he found out I was in Seamoss, he's like, calls me up. He's like, "Yeah, I can get this, special price," and it was like half the price of the Seamoss. And dude, we went through like all these marathons, hoops, jumping through the shit to try and get this Seamoss or meet the guy that had the Seamoss. And then when we finally met the guy who we were supposed to get the Seamoss from, he wasn't the guy that had the Seamoss. He had to go to someone else. And then as we're talking and probing questions, right, he lets out who the person is. And we happen to know the person and we know them well, right? And so he's telling us basically, and we're buying Seamoss off that same person. So he's like, "Yeah, I can get it for like half the price." And we're like, "Oh, really?" Well, yeah, how this happened? Meanwhile, we know it's not going to happen, but you know what I mean? And it was just like, in the middle of some fucking alleyway at night, trying to get this guy to go talk to this other person, and they owe me a favor, and then it's just like, holy shit. The drama, and then it ended up he never got the Seamoss. So we spent the whole night, running around trying to get this cheap price of the Seamoss, and it never materialized. It was funny.
I got stories too, man. Like and Khalid, like I think like yeah, man, like staying to connect. Like also on Instagram, like, if you're on Instagram, my business page is divineherbsandhealing.com. That's where you can find a lot of just related things to what the company has going on. But if you're looking for some of the things that we may be exploiting, and for me, some of the things I might explore on my personal Instagram, or you might catch some other things, you can find that at Jamari Kirby, just Jamari Kirby on Instagram. We got Seamoss Talk. We're gonna be getting the Seamoss Talk back more active as far as that, so you can follow that on Facebook too. That group is more so for experiences, and just maybe questions and other things that you may have in common questions or so. So join the Seamoss Talk on there as well. We're gonna be doing some more things on getting the Seamoss Talk as active as we possibly can.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to figure out, like, I'm gonna have to put you as like an admin or something on the Seamoss Talk, so we can just jump right into it. Like
Add me in so I can add the channels to this thing. I made a big investment into this app. I hope everybody likes it.
Yeah, hey, it look like dude, I'm like I said, man, it looks like for one, if you're not a business owner, let me say this shit for anybody in the back. There's a lot of money that goes into like just being able to have functionality of like configurations of apps. Like you can buy the app, like you can get a lot of free shit. But if you're talking about like add-ons, like the shit that like even with my business, like the amount of things and like every pop-up you see on my channel, it like costs me extra. It's like you pay a lot of money to run these websites smooth. Like anybody that has a good system working, I got a lot of respect for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we spend money to keep this entertainment going for y'all. So shout out to Julien for making that investment to have Coach. Like my name's popping up when I'm talking to y'all. Like shout out to Julien for doing the control panels over there. You know what I mean?
Thank you. Check it out. Actually,
we got a little music playing in the background. We got some Bel Air champagne from Divine Herbs and Healing, the berry tonic tea. That's the Bel Air.
Yeah. I was trying to play a video, but I don't know if that worked. It's like
I heard it. I didn't see it.
I heard it for a second, and then it. Let me see it again. It was supposed to be a video of some Seamoss. I was taking pictures the other night of Seamoss in our warehouse. And so, oh, check this out. This is a cool little video of in St. Lucia. There's a guy who he's like the boatman. He brings the fruit every day. So he comes on the shore. This is like an old video from
Here comes the fruit guy.
You see me? This is from when I went to St. Lucia, I think in like 2010 or 13. Like this was a while back. And then he comes and he does the fruit. It's good. His fruit is badass. So look, we're going to start bringing in more videos and stuff like that. And you know what? I'm going to bring in Ashen. I'm going to start bringing Ashen in onto the videos. I'm actually, I was supposed to do it a long time ago, but I'm sending him down a new phone. And so with the new phone, he'll have a lot of cool features on it to be able to do videos and stuff like that, you know?
Like a lot of the connections now, like what you're doing, like what's the shelf life for dry store Seamoss? Does it expire? Julien, my response for that is like, you know, I like let you respond. I'll let you respond, and I have my response because I like to comment on it after you. So you go ahead. You can answer that first.
Okay. Excuse me. So most places will tell you that the shelf life of Seamoss is 1 year, but the reality is probably about somewhere between 5 to 10 years. If properly stored, the Seamoss will like stay fine for a long, long time. The reason why we say 1 year is because sometimes when we get the Seamoss, there's no way to tell how long that person has stored the Seamoss for. So rather than say 5 years, you know what I mean, which it could be, and that person could have stored it for 4 years, we just say 1 year. You know what I mean? And that way it keeps it, you know, you never have an issue about worrying about whether or not your Seamoss is fresh or not.
Right,
Yeah.
right. I was going to comment and just say that too. I was like, a lot of people say 1 year, but I've gotten Seamoss from Kenya that I'm sure that it looked longer than 1 year of just how dried it was, you know, that he gave me because it aged. I mean, you know, it's like having this dry herb. I mean, having this dried algae is just such a. I mean, it's good, man. I mean, I just think that having this is important. You know, like I said, when this is dried, it's incredible of how long you can keep this. You know, I would say, you know, keep it as less exposed to air and dark space, or you know, just places where if you are storing it, you know, just try to, you know, do your best at, you know, keeping it, you know, as fresh at your own disclosure, you know, at your own way. But yeah, man, it's really nice to have Seamoss. Like I really, you know, I just find it so interesting of how the world, because like where I'm from, we have a lot of Spanish moss. Like I said, where I'm from at in South Carolina, like it looks like St. Lucia. Like I'm from the low country of South Carolina, man, and you know, we live on the island. Like, and where I'm from, we have an island called St. Helena. Like how you was talking of, like, so the story of our island where I'm from, and like, well, I'm not from St. Helena, but it's the same island. Like it's all one island. I'm from, like, the land has, we have 11 islands in this one town that I'm from. So it's like, you know, a lot of the land, like how you were saying, like those names, like a lot of the American names is like the name that how St. Lucia had it. It's funny because it's like we have Savannah High, we have Savannah River, and like the name Savannah, and then you had something else that started with an S earlier, and I was like, oh wow, it's like yeah, and then like that one town that was called Fort, like what we have like where I'm from, it's like Beaufort, and it's all the same, like, and we're on the coast where we're known as like the protected land because of how we're on the coast and how it curves. There's like a certain curve. So I find it interesting that we're known as the protected land, like the most indigenous land in America. And then, you know, because of our protection. And then you see St. Lucia, and you see like a island that looks exactly like how it is where I'm from. It's like, it's funny. But what I was saying is, like, you know, just having this indigenous algae, man, it just changes your life. You know what I mean? And I just believe that a lot of people should get connected. I'm actually, like I told him earlier, we're gonna be headed out soon because I gotta wake up early and be able, I don't. I'm Julien. What is Julien Instagram? I missed it because the connection keep going in and out.
I'll show it in a second. Go
Okay.
ahead, finish what you were
No,
saying.
I was saying like, I'm normally up every day till about 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, 3 in the morning. Like on average, I don't go to bed till about 4 in the morning. So I'm looking at I still got about 3 more hours I gotta put in before I go to sleep. And I'm like, I already know what I got to do to put in. So but yeah, man, like Seamoss is life. Essentially, that's what we're saying to y'all. And earlier I was telling Julien, like, I want to get back into, finding this type of space with this. Like, bro, I love being able to talk to people about CMOS.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I
Mm-hmm.
get a kick out of really talking to you. So, I know for sure, man, that what you're doing and just being able to keep bringing us on to talk and find that time, for you to even be able to find that time to do the co-hosting, because, it'll be some days where I'll be like picking up my phone or like you already be on live or doing something. I'm like, man, like this guy, I'm like, and I
I'm
gotta
the
move
hardest
on.
working guy in CMOS.
He's on it. He's on it. Like for him, for him to still be finding time to talk to y'all. Like I'm running. Like I said, I be running around here like doing so much. I'm like, yo, this guy still finds time to talk to y'all. Like Julian's the fucking MVP, guys. And I think that I just want to just keep bringing the light. Like, how much times have we got on this live and I told you that, like, dude, that's incredible,
Yeah.
So I think that anybody that's watching this, man, like, man, just keep staying in the network because he's going to keep bringing got other people that y'all can learn from. And
Yeah.
I commend him for that. He's going to keep bringing this connection to where you can, bring, learn from and not just be a consumer on products, but you're learning a lifestyle,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, man, I'm having fun. So I know for sure tomorrow, I'll have some time, because I feel like it's Tuesday, everybody going to kind of be back rolling,
Yeah.
So I'll find some time tomorrow, whatever time tomorrow that you may say, hey, we can jump on live and do something. I'm down. I know for sure tomorrow I got time. I got time tomorrow.
Tell me when.
Yeah,
I'm
we'll make
open.
it work. Whenever I wake up, I was like, hey,
Call
what
me
is
in the
your morning
morning.
looking
Yeah.
like? Like how's your morning looking like? I believe
We'll
like we
figure it
come in
out.
the morning and jumpstart and get everybody gonna need some energy in the morning. So
Mm-hmm.
we'll
All right.
definitely do this. So, but
Yeah.
yeah. So anything that you may want to conclude?
No, I think we've been talking for 2.5 hours.
But hey, hold on, think about
I'm
this. When
afraid
we
to keep talking because we're just going to start into another tangent
Hey,
about something else.
our record. What was our record that time? Like 4 hours?
Yeah, I think we did 4 hours once on Instagram,
Yeah,
and we kept repeating the shows.
yeah, yeah,
This my
man.
yawning.
So look,
But yeah,
I'm gonna
let's.
go and conclude it. Y'all make sure y'all check that out in the store. If anybody here that wanna get some CMOS on demand, that's looking for some ways to just keep like this. How I look at it. I literally have my little CMOS to go. Like, there's not a day where I can't have my gel and my pills. Like, I do CMOS. Like I said, there's a special love for my gel in my life a day, and then there's a special love that I use, but and because I use these because there's other herbs in these CMOS capsules. But I mean, like, there's a lot of things that I like to use. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to mention these aren't no ordinary CMOS capsules. Like most people are putting the CMOS capsule in just the powder, but you've gone one step further and added moringa, which I think is an amazing herb. I love moringa, and then also with the ginger, which is another great product. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And so this is cool. I think it's important for us as creators to create stuff that differentiates our stuff from other products so that there's more selection in the marketplace. There's too many people creating the same CMOS powder. How do you
yeah.
expect to compete with that? Do you know what
Yeah,
I'm
and like,
saying?
yeah, yep. I think you're saying exactly right. Like, that was my main thing. I was like, I just wanted to create something that's going to maximize results without it just being like the same bladder sea moss or like, I seen the same
Mm-hmm.
combo and I just like, what's one other herb or something that I use every day that I know that I could put my face card on that no matter what I know that it's going to work or
Mm-hmm.
aid. So and Seamoss such a good binding. Like, yo, it's hard not like Seamoss make anything great in my opinion. Like whatever it was, it's not gonna be the same after Seamoss is in it. You know what I mean? It's simple. So y'all can check it out. This I got a sale in my store. Like literally this is the last day. You can get 40% off the whole entire store. And fast shipping. We did some really good jobs to make sure you guys are able to get some affordable shipping. So check out those new shipping rates. And yes, I mean you can check out the store. I'm available. We're very communicative. If I'm not able, like I said, we have a really good communicative response. We're co-owned, we're co-owned. Shout out to my wifey, the first lady, Shayna Maud. A lot of the time she's working behind the scenes. We got a newborn, so there's a lot of things we're not able to always be right there on together. We're able to put a lot of brains together when making these products. So we and it gives you an opportunity to get it from both male and female perspective and things. So our company is very unique on why we're divine. We're the holistic marketplace. So we're always trying to encourage other entrepreneurs and other small businesses to just network. We want to keep connecting the dots for other people in the natural holistic business, because we have plans to grow. Like and also you see that Save Divine 25. If you go over there to St.Lucia Seamoss Company and you're shopping today, and if it's something that I said or we said today in conversation that made you want to go to the store, use that discount code that we generated today to save 25%, because it's 25% off. I mean, who wouldn't want to use 25% off? So, man, I appreciate you having me, but I'm gonna be excited to be back here, man, and just keep growing and just telling people like, hey, get these Seamoss products in your lifestyle, one way or the other.
All right, so guys, catch us tomorrow. Maybe you'll catch us during the day. If not, we're gonna be back soon, and definitely, hopefully, Khaled will be around. He'll join us in for we'll be like the Three Amigos or something. You know what I mean? But I definitely want to bring in Ashton soon. And one of the things I want to expand on these Seamoss shows is start interviewing other businesses, people, and create a platform to highlight what they're doing. And then also interview farmers so that we can see firsthand. Because a lot of these farmers, they want to talk. They want to share their knowledge and stuff. But it's just, this social media stuff is for a lot of people, it's not something that is just easily tackled. You know what I mean? And so maybe, but us with our experience bringing them on there might be easier. So look out for that, for us talking to farmers, talking to other Seamoss sellers. I think it's important for us to all share information and network,
I believe it. So, hey, man, I appreciate you having me. I'm hyped for tomorrow. Like I said, guys, we did this tonight just really off, once again, Seamoss business. Either you love it or you don't. And we did it tonight off of love. Like, we was so busy tonight. We both found some time. We was like, fuck it. We just going to go live. We're going to do it. But I guarantee tomorrow we're going to be so recharged that we're going to have a lot more energy. We're going to have a lot more probably other things to talk about. And, just catch us tomorrow, man. It's going to be all over again. We're going to be ready to hit it hard with y'all. So have y'all questions ready. Know what you want to ask. I'm pretty sure, like, I'm swamped. Like I'm swamped. So tomorrow you're gonna catch us refreshed. You know what I mean? You will catch us refreshed, crispy, and ready.
For real. All right, Kirby. Man. Well, thank you very much. I'm gonna start winding down.
So look, you see this right here? You see this right here? So peace means I'm gonna see you later. This means like I may not see you. I may. It's like you're not expecting to maybe see me later. When you do this, it's like I plan to see you later. So
I feel like a salute.
I plan to see you later, my friend.
All right, bro. Thank you so much, and you have a good night. Thank you, everybody that stayed the whole 2 hours. Wow, you must have lots of notes.
Yeah.
All right. Good night.
All right. Good night.